You gotta stand with all your might. Truth in the battle, try to die. Rebels rise, hear the sound. Metal echoes all around.
What's up?
You know what? I don't think I ever heard it until just now. Does our intro say troglodyte in it?
Says what?
Does it say troglodyte?
Fuck, I don't know. Hell, it might.
I think I just heard it. If so, that's awesome.
I have to look at the lyrics on it. I can
I never
pull
noticed.
it up.
I never noticed.
Pull it up and play the lyrics. So
I think I just saw it, or just heard it rather.
well, anyways, welcome to the official first episode of 2025 for Metalheads. Right. Last week we did the recap of 2024, so we don't really count that. I mean, that's kind of a cleanup episode, I think.
But at the same time, you and I, we do it right.
Well, right, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna do end of year in November. I mean,
right, yeah.
Kind of not fair to, the albums are still being released, and you never know.
Right.
You never know what you're going to find in the album releases. So
I mean, there were albums released 2 days after Christmas. That's still
that
was still 2024. There was still time for somebody to literally come out of nowhere and release a game changer.
A top 10 album. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, it's so stupid. So I mean, it was. I think it was smart. I think it's smart to do it the way we've done it this whole time. We used the very first show in January to completely recap the year previous, and it just doesn't make any sense to do it as early as some of these outlets do it.
Right.
I don't
I agree with that 100%. So
I don't get it.
Could be.
What if you? I mean, literally, there's so much you could miss.
Well, there is. Yeah. I mean, there's.
Here's the funny thing, is there was somebody who also was in that accident New Year's Eve and passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
correct.
I mean, if you're wrapping up 2024 at the end of November, beginning of December, I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, you're missing, reporting on, people that we've lost, and,
right?
New albums,
so much.
Yeah, I mean, hell, there was. I don't know if we touched base on that, and I can't remember if that was into 2024. But that stabbing at the concert venue, you remember that?
I remember the event. I don't remember the date.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. Let's see.
I don't remember the timeline, but I absolutely do remember the event. I remember reporting on it. Yes.
I thought somebody had posted it in the group. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it. I was trying to remember where. Is it on? It was on. I think I seen it on Metal Hammer actually, or Blabbermouth. I can't remember. I'll actually look it up and see if that was. I think I was meant to leave that up and I didn't. I'm just gonna do it this way.
Hang on a second.
I'm just gonna.
I know what you're talking about. Hang on. But yeah, I can't remember. If
it was on Loudwire. Okay. Let's see. That was a week ago. So it was into 2025. Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
Oh, actually no. Let's see.
Was it not?
In the venue on December 27th. So it was in 2024.
Okay. All right. Wasn't 20.
So there you go. So you missed that.
Mm-hmm.
Which we can. I may just share.
I know that.
I may just share the screen and play that here in just a minute, just to kind of tie things up for the end of, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of, since it was last year, kind of touch base on that, and then before we get into the new things and that kind of thing. So But yeah, I'll do that in a minute, and then we got some good news to talk about too before we get into all the dreary news of 2025. So,
Yeah.
so and, if you're football fans, congratulations! Ohio State just won their championship game. They're going to meet Notre Dame in the national title game, which should be a good game. So, uh, yeah, as an Irish fan, I'm kind of excited about that, but we'll
Well,
see.
you definitely being a lot more gracious than I ever will be.
Well, like I said, I think there's going to be a lot more Irish fans on board for this one than Ohio State ones. So, uh, and we'll take whatever we can get. I'm sure. So,
Oh, I'm definitely on your bandwagon for that next game.
but anyway, yeah. Let me share this real quick. We'll just knock that out of the way real quick. See if I can. You know what? I need to switch my screens because. I wonder if I can do it from there. Let's see. There we go. Share that one. Were you able to see that? We're good? Oh.
Sharing screens on this platform is different than sharing screens on
Yeah.
the other one. We actually got so used to sharing screens on the last platform. We're on this new one now, and it's similar but different.
Yeah, it is
So-
a little different. So.
we're still trying to get used to that.
Let's see if I can. The right one? Nope, that's the wrong one. All right, wrong one. Never mind. I got two. I got two loud wires up. So let's see which one is which. You know what? It may not do it because it's on. Oh no, that's on. Well, back up then. Shares. Oops. What's it called? Route. Oh. Oh, that's because I'm on the wrong one, man. There we go. Yeah, maybe that'll help. Yeah, there we go. That's the one I want to share. Let's see.
Changing on the fly.
Yep. So make sure that one. So we maximize that out. Yeah. Then I'll play it over here. Okay, gotcha. All right. Let's.
Of course, it's not YouTube if you don't have to skip an ad first. Yeah, I don't hear it, Jason.
You don't?
No, don't hear it.
Oh, that's not good. Interesting. All right, let's do it this way. Maybe because I'm on. The hell? All right, let's do it this way. From here. Video on this one? Oh, no, there's no video on that one. Shit. Well, I apologize. I'm trying to find a video so I don't have to like tell you about it. Let's see. Here we go. This one's all on YouTube, so that'll make it a little better, I guess. All right, so let me try it this way. Yeah, felt like it was maybe because of it being on like because I'm on Chrome and then I had to share that one from Microsoft, so I mean maybe that's what it was. I don't know. We'll see.
Possibility. It could have been a compatibility issue. I don't know.
I'll share it. I'm on the right one now, so we'll see if this one works better. If not, let me know. And then I'll just read it. If not, so
Because I know we've done it before.
yeah. Just,
There, yeah, you're good. I mean, I hear it. Is it a music
well, it looks like it's just an actual live feed of what happened. It's not a. It's not a new, that was not really a news story.
No, there's the news. Then the news anchor's audio isn't on top of that one. That's weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
But I did hear the audio, so.
Let me.
I did hear the audio that time, so.
See if we can
So that did work.
Yeah, that was what it was. It was just as a room different. The hell, this is the same thing. Oh, no, that's good. Okay. So this one's actually the news report. Gotcha. Well, I mean, man, that's crazy. Like, I don't know why it would give you a. Okay, maybe this is this one. This is one of the. Let's see. Just all kind of technical difficulties already. Hey, way to start out 2025, guys.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Let's see if this one works.
New this morning, a violent
There it is.
scene unfolding overnight at a popular San Antonio nightclub after a man was stabbed multiple times. Now, you're looking at the scene just after 10 last night along the St. Mary's Strip. Police say two men got into a fight inside the Paper Tiger nightclub, and then one of the men pulled out a knife and stabbed the other man multiple times. The victim was rushed to the hospital, but police say is expected to be okay. As for the 36-year-old suspects, officers were able to take him into custody. He's now facing an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon charge.
So yeah, that was on December 27th of last year. So that's kind of one of the ways that we kind of ended 2024 with news like that. So
I'm pretty sure. I was certain we talked about that at the end of the year.
I can't remember if we
I
did.
could have sworn we did.
I can't remember if we did or not. So.
We didn't play a video like that, like you just did, but I could have swore somebody, one of us, mentioned something about it. I'll look.
Yeah, we may have, but it's. I said it's all
because it happened on the
20th.
Right, because it happened on the 27th. I would have been in Michigan, so somebody had to have put it in one of the groups.
Oh, it was in the groups. We just never covered it. We just never covered it on the show. That's what I was saying. Like,
oh, okay, all right, yeah, well, yeah, because I was out of town and we were off.
Yeah, we didn't have a show, and then when we came back, we did the year in review. So we haven't really talked about anything from Christmas and beyond. We haven't really talked about anything. So
okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so
that is
like the two other deaths you had to add and all that stuff.
Right, yeah.
We didn't really talk about any of that because we were off, and he just kind of got added into the year.
Got added on towards the in memoriam. Yeah.
The in memoriam, yeah. So yeah. That's kind of out of the way. So
yeah.
On to some better news.
And before we do that, you'll have to forgive the both of us
Right.
if we end up having coughing fits, because both of us have been dealing with the flu all week. So if we have to mute our mics multiple times, or if we cough in your ear unexpectedly, we're sorry. We'll do the best we can to make sure we don't do that. But Jason and I have both been fighting off the flu bug this week. So
Yeah. That's the things they never tell you about when you do that show, Wife Swap. I mean, it's just a. I'm just kidding. We don't.
Are those footsteps I hear coming down your hallway, Jason?
Probably. Man. Just want to kind of give you guys an update on, we've been on Spotify for a couple of years now, so I kind of wanted to they sent us our Wrapped thing, of course, and let us know like our numbers and that kind of thing. So I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys, just to kind of let you guys know kind of how you guys are helping us grow, and we appreciate it. So
Absolutely.
For the standpoint, our listeners has increased 116%. It doesn't sound like a lot to most people, but when you start, it's going to be a lot right now because we've only been doing it for a couple of years. So it's going to go from 3 or 4 to 30 or whatever it did. I don't know. I didn't. It doesn't tell me that much because I'm not on there to see exactly what we're up to now as far as followers and listeners and all that. But anyway, I mean that's a pretty significant jump to me. I mean, even if it, I've always said if I wanted to grow this thing to, and I'm sure Chris can echo this, is we want to grow this thing as whether we get one extra person listening or 13 extra people listening or 100 people, that would be great. But we, as long as we're growing, that's the main purpose here. We want to make sure we continue in our growth. In our reach for the bands that we've interviewed and stuff like that. So I mean,
Yep.
the more we reach, the more we get people turned on to those guys, and that's like the main purpose that we're doing. So and we appreciate anybody that's taking that opportunity to learn about newer bands and give us a shot at kind of
Being the source for that.
right. And
Yeah.
I didn't want to really say educate because I don't think I'm really educating anybody that much, but
Well,
maybe
we kind of do with the interviews for sure. Because I mean,
well, yeah, because there's a lot of stuff that you don't know about those bands. So
right, because not only is it a band that is new to us, when we have the band members on, they're telling us stuff about their creative process, and then we get to know them on a personal level too, to a certain extent. So we kind of are in a sense educating people, educating ourselves, getting to know new bands and making new friends. So I mean, it wasn't really like a direct goal, but I mean, it just kind of organically happens.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I do echo what you said.
So
Absolutely.
our streaming have increased 300%, which is great. So I mean, that's not really, that's saying there's a lot of people listening that doesn't even follow us. So that's kind of appreciated as well.
Right.
I mean, we appreciate the followers, but if you just want to check it out one time or here and there or whatever, that's fine. I mean, that's totally your prerogative, and we're not going to force you or hold you at gunpoint to listen to our shows.
Oh no, absolutely not.
But
what that does mean is that people who haven't taken the time to follow us on a regular basis, they have found us somehow on Spotify, and they're listening to us there, which is fine. Because I mean, I don't necessarily expect any of our audience to really follow us all the way across the board, because let's be honest, I mean, a lot of the stuff kind of just cross posts. So I mean, there is kind of a lot, unless you're talking about Facebook, but a lot of the TikTok and X and Instagram and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff is admittedly redundant. Like the Metalhead Minute is on TikTok and X and Instagram and stuff. So I mean, if you're following us on one, there's really not 100% of a need to follow us on everything. So yeah, if you're following us on a couple, you don't necessarily need to follow us on all seven or eight or whatever it is that we're on. But
right.
So yeah, if somebody happened to stumble upon us on Spotify, and then they're just listening to the playlists and then checking out the interviews as Jason posts them, I mean, that's fine too. That's totally fine too.
And
Even if they don't watch us live.
And then our followers have increased 160%, which is very, very grateful. I thank you guys for following us over
Absolutely.
there. You know, it's a tough market, man, on Spotify. It really is. I mean, because
Very.
I mean, you have an abundance of podcasts to listen to there, and it's you know, for you to take the time out to check ours out and follow us means a lot to us. I mean,
Yeah.
um, and you know, 160% may not sound like a lot for somebody, but I mean, if that goes from, you know, say 15 to 26, 7, something like that, that'll be about 160%, I think, somewhere in there.
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Somewhere around there.
yeah. So, yeah, cool. We appreciate it.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
you know, anything that we can
I mean,
do to.
I mean, it's going to be incremental for a show like ours, and we understand that. I mean, you know, we're not Joe Rogan, or you know, we're not in that stratosphere, not even close, really. You know, and then with the amount of bands that have podcasts and stuff like that. I mean, Jason, you were mentioning, we were on the phone earlier, and you were mentioning there's an Iron Maiden podcast. I mean, we'll never have the
Right.
numbers of an Iron Maiden podcast.
Oh, for sure.
Probably.
Never.
Probably.
Yeah,
I mean, we probably won't ever
I-
have the numbers of an Iron Maiden podcast. But
I mean, I don't foresee it, but
right. I mean, so I mean, you know, these incremental jumps like this. I mean, this is. I mean, it's awesome for us. We think it is. We think it's awesome.
And you know, the fans that have listened have said, you know, spoken that their favorite episode was one of one that we, you know, kind of hold dear to us as well, which was the Extinction AD episode. So, you know, we appreciate that, and I'm sure Rick Jimenez from Extinction AD appreciates that, because I mean,
Yeah.
he's been on this show 3 times. So for him to have the number one episode from last year, he probably would tickle him to death. So
Probably.
so and then of course, you know, the demographics. You know, you want to break stuff down, then you know, do that here. Let's see. Well, I don't know if I can even. Let me move this because it's not letting me.
To break it down DX style. So, I mean,
Yeah, break it down. So this is. Excuse me.
again, we're. I mean,
Yeah, right.
we just. Ooh, bless you. Damn it.
Yeah,
Right.
the heat just kicked on and like went right under my nose.
Oh, yeah, that'll happen.
Uh,
Yeah, that'll happen.
So anyway, so our demographic, age wise, happens to be the biggest margin is in our age group, which is kind of interesting. I thought, you know, 45 to 54 hosts 33% of our
Oh,
listener
for
age.
real? Okay.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty interesting. 18 to 24, 25 to 29, 30 to 34, 35 to 44. All of those are at 15%, which is fine. I mean, that's great.
fine.
And I think the thing that even makes me more happier is we got 15% in that 18 to 24 range, because
Right.
as we talk about, you know, a lot of younger bands making it for metal, we still need the younger audience to make
That's
those
right.
bands mean something going forward. So I mean,
Yep.
you know, so if you got bands like Malevolence and you know, one comes to mind, Afterlife. I mean, a lot of those younger bands. I mean, we interviewed Eradicated. They're a young band. I mean, No Connection's a young band. So I mean, if you got people following those type of metal bands in that category and they're in that age, then of course they're going to grow. You know, the audience is going to grow with them. So that's cool to actually watch. I mean, you know, to me, it's amazing because we got to see one of the biggest metal bands in the world, Metallica, go from playing in a fucking skating rink to headlining stadiums. So I mean, it's like, you know,
Right.
and I want that for the next generation as well. I want them
Absolutely.
to have that kind of, oh, and I remember when I saw those guys that, 30 people were there, and now they're playing,
30,000.
stadiums.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome,
Absolutely.
dude. Yeah, I mean, we want that for every band. I mean, of course,
Yep.
unfortunately, every band's not going to be able to do
Right.
that,
The
but
math
we want
just isn't
that,
going to work out.
But it's up to the fans, So I mean, and
Right.
then I think another interesting one to me was 55 plus. We had 7% viewers, listeners at 55 plus. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, so I guess that's just Dana and above. So uh, he probably ain't even listening tonight, which
I
is
don't think he is. He would
uh,
have said hi already.
yeah, but
Oh, that's funny.
uh,
Hey,
he'll get me for that one, I'm sure.
he
So.
will. He
And
will.
actually, the 35 to 44 age group grew the most because we gained 100% of that listener group. We grew this year, so we didn't have
Cool.
that the year before. So I love that too. I love that we're hitting that, and actually that's the age gap between like kind of us and then like our kids. There's like that's like the age gap
Hmm.
between us and our kids. So
Yeah.
so that's pretty cool that we're growing there. So
Yeah. I kind of like that there's really balance all the way across the board as far as those demographics. I mean,
I do too. I like that
obviously
too. So.
obviously one's always going to be kind of head and shoulders above the rest, and it just
Well, yeah,
happens to be our age group, which is kind of cool. But everything else is still kind of balanced all the way across the board. So I like how it's kind of even. I do like that.
because I mean, if you think about it, I think our age group was the biggest age group that were metal followers. If that makes any sense to anybody,
Yeah.
I think if you go back and you look before then, even in the Black Sabbath era, you had more um, rock influence there with like bands like Steppenwolf and Link and Leonard Skinner and
Hmm.
ZZ Top, and
Yep.
you didn't have a lot of metal influence
It was
besides
still
Black
new.
Sabbath, yeah, and Scorpions, and you had Excel, but a lot of people didn't know those bands. You know what I mean? Like I didn't
Well,
know
yeah,
except
because
until the '80s myself because
right,
they're in another country. So,
Scorpions
yeah,
and Accept both were over in Germany, and then Judas
yeah,
Priest. Hell,
in
Judas Priest
England
was
or
over
Great
there in the
Britain.
UK, and AC/DC was down in Australia.
Yeah, so
So I mean I mean
you didn't have the representation here. I mean, actually, you
no,
didn't have any
you didn't.
representation hardly
No,
in the
because Black
states.
Sabbath was in the UK also,
Yeah, yeah. So you had most of all those bands were overseas. So
right?
to say that we grew up in the time that probably boosted metal, I think, uh, to the biggest
Absolutely,
extreme, I think is our age group. And
I think so.
I'm not just bragging about that at all. I'm saying that's,
Not just.
no, not just bragging, but no, I'm just saying, like, I think that's like the age group where people were jumping on board with because I think at that point you wanted something new. You know what I mean? Hip hop was a big thing right at that time, coming out when we grew up. So I mean, it was kind of like, okay, which way are we going here? Are we gonna listen to rock? Or are we gonna listen to hip? I mean, you had some options. You know what I mean? So I don't think that growing up, like I remember growing up, my dad was a truck driver, so I remember growing up and listening to REO Speedwagon, Air Supply, Chicago. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? It was
Oh yeah,
like that
same.
was technically rock. Then
It
so it
was.
wasn't. It was. He didn't put in Paranoid or Highway to Hell or
No.
anything like that. So he didn't listen to that.
Well,
Which
I thankfully, I kind of had the same thing. You're a couple years older than me, but I mean,
right.
we were it just so happened that as you and I were coming of age, quote unquote, as it were, I mean, granted, when like when Master of Puppets came out in '86 and stuff like that. I mean, I was 8.
Right.
You were 10, 11. So, I mean, you were a little older than me, but I mean, neither one of us had disposable income at the time. But I mean, we were coming of age when that was getting really, really big.
Hmm.
Around the time when, the documentary When Metal Ruled the World came out, we were kind of coming of age in that time period.
Right.
So,
Like I said, I remember my first metal cassette that I owned was Kill 'Em All,
mhm,
and it was actually a trade. I I had gotten a cassette for Christmas, and it was not what I asked for. Was just say that. So
You don't want to throw any
you know,
family members under the bus.
well, no. I mean, parents were kind of like, you know, oh well, I thought that was it. No, this is rap. I don't want this.
Right, yeah.
And so luckily I had a friend of mine. It's like, oh, I love this song. I said, oh, really? I said, what you got that you'll trade me? And he says, I got this Metallica Kill 'Em All. You want that? And he said, I've listened to this 100 times. I don't need it anymore. I'm like, okay, fuck it. So I traded it for that, and that was my first like big metal influence album was Kill 'Em All. And this was in '87 maybe. Yeah, probably around '87, which it was like 4 years old already. So or actually 5 years old, I guess would it be? Or was it '83, '82 or '83? I can't remember.
What's that now?
Kill 'Em All, was that '82 or '83? I can't remember.
81, wasn't it?
Was it '81? Okay,
81.
I just know I know it was older. It was already
81,
they had already had another release, but in that length of time. And actually, we were on the upcoming of the And Justice for All release. So so you're already talking 3 full albums that Metallica had before I got their first one. So
Yeah.
well,
Well, Metallica was formed in '81. I think Kill 'Em All came out in '82.
yeah, it was somewhere around there, '82 or '83, I think, but I can't remember. And I know Ride the Lightning was '84, and then
Ride the Lightning was '84.
and then
Master of Puppets was '86.
'86, yeah.
And Justice for All was '89.
Yeah, so we were already like kind of talking about the next Metallica album being And Justice for All. So it's kind of like, okay, well, 3 albums, I got the first one. So, but anyway, that's kind of what put me on track with, and then it got me into listening. We actually, another thing, we had a rock station that actually played rock. They actually played a little bit of everything rock. They actually played Dokken and Rat, and they actually played bands like that. When we grew up, and we're like, oh yeah, this is fucking cool. And then of course my uncle was a big influencer too, because he was into rock, and he worked for Anheuser-Busch at the time, so he got tickets to a lot of the shows. So he would take me to some of the shows and stuff, which was cool. So yeah, I got introduced to metal probably by more from him and the radio than anything.
Yeah.
And then of course when I started listening to stuff, everybody around me was like, "Oh, this is cool." So everybody kind of got and then I had friends buying Slayer albums and shit that I'd ever heard of, and I'm like,
Right,
oh, shit,
yeah.
okay, cool. So we were all buying shit. It was cool because we were kind of a collective group that we didn't buy the same shit. So we were all buying different stuff. So we were all listening to everybody else's stuff.
Right.
So it, which was kind of cool. So you kind of got educated at a young age of all the bands, even though none of us knew Onslaught, which was fucked up. But
Right.
But anyway, I'm just saying, like, I want that for this age group too. I know it's harder because you're not able to get your hands on as much hard copies as you were then.
And just the sheer volume has multiplied by God knows how many times the amount of music that we were exposed to kind of at that same age.
Yeah.
I mean, and you had to go look for it. You had to go look for it. You either had to know somebody, like you say, you had family members, or you had to have the right radio station, or I mean, hell, until the late '80s when Headbangers Ball came on.
Right.
So you had to look for this shit, and then you had to know where to look, or you just kind of had you had to have a little bit of a combination of little column A knowing something and little column B getting lucky that it fell in your lap.
Yeah.
So now,
just got lucky.
Yeah. So now it's just the sheer amount of stuff. Just by the amount of stuff that you and I listened to just between the two of us last year and had to sort through for the end of the year.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
Absolute insanity.
I had 30. I think I counted like 30. 27 or 30, like somewhere around in there. 27, I think it was.
I had in the 30.
No, I'm talking about 27 albums that were four horns and above.
Yeah, I had somewhere
not counting what I listened to that wasn't.
Right, I had somewhere in the 30s of that same. Yeah.
So we had to take that and then narrow it down to 10. So
Right. Yeah.
So
And
we
this year,
definitely
oh
we
my
definitely
God, this year.
we definitely spun the numbers for a few of those bands, I'm sure. So
Yeah.
uh,
And and good God, what this year is shaping up to be.
already,
Holy shit! I mean, hell, I just posted the brand new Warbringer single
yeah,
earlier this week. They have an album. They have an album coming out in March. I just saw
yep,
something the other day where Sacred Reich is about to start recording something that they hope is out
yeah,
this year. Lacuna Coil.
yep.
Basically,
I think that Killswitch album is due out in March as well.
yeah,
So
somewhere around there.
yeah,
And
so
then Death Angel, Exodus,
yep.
Testament, Machine Head, Anthrax. I mean, crying out loud, man.
Megadeth's writing new stuff, and so
Megadeth's writing new music.
who knows with that? I mean, it could be next
Jesus,
year, but
man.
yeah. So it's wild, dude. Man.
Incredible.
Yeah, pretty sure Onslaught's in the studios doing stuff. So I mean, like
I think you're
we just
right.
we just mentioned them, so I was
I
just
think you're right.
and we'll talk about other bands that got we got told about this week. So
Yeah, I mean,
I know,
we're a week and a half into the year already.
yeah,
So I mean,
and I know we got kind of off target a little bit, so I apologize. But what I was just trying to get the point across is I want we have to have that fan base to carry these other bands into the next the next millennium or so. So
absolutely. I mean, the bands are out there to be listened to. It has never been easier to listen to music.
No,
Ever has it been easier to listen to music.
You ain't lying about that. Hey,
Dude.
matter of fact, if you want to go back and look at a little video, you can go back and on our Spotify and look at the. Golly, I just forgot his damn name. I feel bad as hell. Oh, dude, I cannot believe I did that. Oh man, I cannot believe I just did that. Had it on the tip of my tongue and then I just forgot it. Oh, I'm such a horrible person.
Well, you always draw a blank at the worst time. Every time.
I know, I do, man. I don't know why I do that, but I really do. So,
Well, no, I mean, it's not just you. I mean, whenever that happens, you're like, son of a bitch, I just had it. It always happens.
exactly. So, let me go and look here.
But I mean, there's literally, and I don't like to use that word, but in this case,
Bob Chiappardi of Concrete Marketing. That's what I was going to say. 'Cause he actually, if you want to go back and listen to that episode, it is on Spotify. But he actually came up with the idea to go into stores and put on headphones and listen to sample tracks. So a lot of people may not know.
Great idea.
Yeah, and it was at the time, yeah, because nobody was doing that. So you kind of just put headphones on and say, oh, I like this, and go buy it. That's kind of how you determine what you bought and what you didn't. So
yeah. Yeah. Do you remember? You remember Blockbuster Music?
Yeah.
Blockbuster Music, and then like Hot Topic used to have those listening stations for a while and shit like that. So, I mean, so yeah, he was the originator of that. But I mean, there is literally too much music for you to listen to. There's no, I mean, I mean, hell, obviously we're not the one-stop shop for new bands, but I mean, if you spend any time,
yes, we are. Quit lying.
We're not. Don't get me wrong, I wish we were, but we're not. I mean, we're not. There's no way in hell between the two of us we could cover everything. There's no way in hell.
No.
So that's what I'm saying. So I mean, we do the best we can, and that is our primary focus.
Well, even if you look at, say, Metal Injection or whatever, there's 6 or 7 people on the staff that listen to stuff every week. So one or two people can't do it. There's no way.
And I'm sure even those 6 and 7 have a hard time doing it. But
well, yeah, I mean, for sure.
So
50 albums every week.
So. Right. Yes. I mean, if you want to discover new bands, you absolutely can, because they're out there by the dozens. They are out there. So much good music. So much good music.
All right, well, back on track here since we kind of got off there, but
steer back on the road.
Yeah, so this one I haven't told Chris even about. We were streamed in 7 different countries last year, so
hell yes,
that's pretty awesome, man. That's really cool. Of course, United States was a top country. I mean, that's not really surprising. Our youngest listeners were from Sweden, which kind of makes
love
sense. Kind of makes sense that we kind of made like 4 stops there last year, I think, or something
Yeah.
like that. We were there a lot last year, so
It does make sense, but that's still cool as hell to know that.
it is cool. Yeah.
Love that.
And then our oldest, of course, were from the United States.
Right.
Dana's probably one of those. So, still, still gonna give him shit. So,
Oh yeah.
So let's see. So it's cool that they let us know that other than our show, that the people that listen to our show listen to these podcasts: Joe Rogan Experience, of course, Jordan B. Peterson, Doctor Football, Cure Day, and Talking Maiden, the Iron Maiden, podcast.
That's what it
the
was.
podcast of the Beast. Yeah, so
That's
it's pretty cool that you get a sense of what else they listen to, which is cool because I listen to Joe Rogan too when I get a chance to. So especially on long trips, I'll throw some Joe Rogan on and listen to him sometimes. So, but
I catch his stuff mostly in like clips. I don't really.
right, yes.
But
It depends on who's on there. Like sometimes
that too.
So for music wise, the taste of music that people were, listening to our show, they're into thrash metal, lo-fi, and death metal, which that's really, not surprising. I don't know what lo-fi is, but the other two really not surprising. So, and then to tell us about audio books and stuff too that they listen to, which is kind of weird. So, it just tells you what kind of creator you are and all that stuff. So we're evidently we're a storyteller personality, which I could see that maybe because we share stories and we talk about stuff. So so let's see, and then I think that's all they really gave me. So.
That's still pretty detailed.
It is pretty detailed. Yeah, I was kind of impressed by that. So, pretty impressive. So, but I wanted to share that at the end of the year, but I couldn't for some reason. Like I don't know what the hold up was. My dumb ass didn't know where in the hell to find the podcast at. So, if you're not familiar with that, they kind of switched platforms. They used to have a different one called Anchor, which I was on originally. And then when they switched to Spotify, everything got linked to your personal Spotify account, which is kind of weird. But I can go through my personal and say, hey, this is the podcast you own. I'm like, oh, cool, okay. So so that's kind of how I had to go through and do everything. So I didn't know that until I had to reach out to customer service, and they had to walk me through it,
which is always fun.
Yeah, which let me just say this: Spotify has a lot of bad things, but their customer service, I've talked to them twice, and like they've had me like resolved in less than 10 minutes, dude. That's pretty rare in the customer service industry. I don't care who you talk to. So
it's true.
So, but yeah, I just wanted to share that and appreciate everybody that gave us a listen throughout the year. Hopefully, we'll go into this year. Hopefully bigger and better than ever.
That's right.
We're working on a lot of stuff right now. Rockin' Pod announced a lot of stuff, and I'm already got my eyes on a couple of people. Actually, I already got like 5 lined up that I want to interview off of that. So it's turning around. I was kind of
it was.
I messaged Chris earlier. I was like, man, I don't like this.
Right? Yeah, because I was seeing the same thing as you, and I was like,
I was like, I'm getting kind of worried, man. Like they're not gonna interview a lot of people in our RAM here, but they're starting to pick up. Hopefully we'll get to talk to Martin Motnick again. He's there,
I was about to say, hopefully we'll have a returning friend on as one of our interviews. So.
And of course, one of his bandmates will also be there, so I might get 2. Except
that would be cool.
On the get 2 different perspectives from being in Accept, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That actually would be good to get an older member's kind of perspective from it. So.
Yeah.
And then they've announced. Was it Troy Lockhart from Tesla? I think it was.
Troy Luccketta?
Luccketta, yeah. I think that's who it was. And then there was Ron Keel's going to be
Ron
there.
Keel's gonna be.
Yeah, which would be fucking cool. Like, I remember growing up to listen to Keel. It was pretty badass. So like I said, I think to me, I liked a good mix of older bands and newer. I kind of like a good mix. You know what I mean? Hopefully we get to talk to some other people that keeps makes Chris's jaw drop while we're talking to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ricky Rackman, don't come on because I'm gonna converse you into coming back on the show. So
Yeah.
I
Still can't.
I can just imagine, like, man, that was a persuasive motherfucker getting him over here. It was actually blackmail, but I'll take it. So,
I mean, it was, but it was still surreal getting to talk to him.
well, because he didn't have to. He didn't have to do anything that he didn't want to do. He just said, "Where you at?" And I said, "Oh, I'm right there, dude." He's like, "I'll tell you what, man. You buy a ticket. I'll come over and talk to you." And I was like, "How about I buy two and you give me at least 15 minutes?" so,
Well, hell, that's just.
I think we got close. I think we got 12 out of him.
That's just the art of negotiation, man.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's he wasn't there. He wasn't even there as a guest, which was kind of crazy.
Yep.
And he didn't talk to anybody else there. We were the only podcast he talked to. So
that's what I was about to say. He wasn't
which
on.
Was pretty wild.
He wasn't even on the list for potential interviews. So the fact that he was there promoting his spoken word tour, and
which by the way, if you get a chance to see that, go. It's awesome, dude.
I wish I would have.
He shows pictures and stuff that he won't show anywhere else. So
yeah,
I wish it's kind of cool to see those pictures from back in the day. Like, oh wow, that's crazy.
I wish I would have gone, but it's still just kind of one of the surreal moments that we've had on this show so far. I was like, because I was like. He's like right there. I was like, he's right there.
He's right there. I can high five this motherfucker.
Well, I mean, he did shake our hands.
Well, that is true. I still haven't washed that hand, by the way. I'm just kidding.
No, but it's just.
Yeah.
I mean, right. Because I mean, 12, 13-year-old kid watching Headbangers Ball,
right?
And then fast forward 30 years, he's like, fucking hell, he's right there. He's like on my show. I watched his show. Now he's on my show. It's like,
exactly. Yeah. So it's
fucking weird.
It's a pretty awesome thing to have in your back pocket.
It is. So, yeah.
And that's also on Spotify if you guys want to check
it. It is, and it's also on YouTube. So it's definitely forever because it's on YouTube that we interviewed Ricky Rackman. It's on there forever.
It is on there. Yep. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, I guess we can go into our normal.
Start the show.
Hey, it's been 15 minutes. Let's start the show. Oh man. I don't know. I just kind of wanted to put 2024 behind us before I kind of got into anything. So,
I kind of think
completely behind us. So.
I kind of think a lot of people did. Kind of optimistic about this year. So, yeah.
So, anyway, let's do some birthdays. I decided, I'm going to go from the 1st of January since this is a 2025 show. I'm not going to go back further than that because we're trying to
that makes sense.
Move forward. So we'll do the 1st through the 10th. January 1st, New Year's Day, we had Richie Faulkner, guitarist from Judas Priest.
Hey.
Yeah. January 2nd, we had Doug Robb, vocalist for Hoobastank. January 3rd, we had John Paul Jones, bassist for Led Zeppelin. Rob Arnold, guitarist for Kimara from 2000 to 2011, and did 6 Feet Under from 2012 to 2018. So I'm not really sure where he's at now, but definitely, two bands that are pretty well known, so not too shabby. January 4th, we had Peter Steele, a singer-songwriter and bassist for Typo Negative, and of course we know he unfortunately passed away in 2010. We have Till Lindemann, vocalist for Rammstein. January 5th, we had Rick Ambrose, vocalist for Jewel. So this is I had to look that band up because I couldn't really remember. Then I started seeing some stuff. I was like, oh, I do remember that band. So kind of glam rock era there.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had Ted Harris Poley, a vocalist for Danger Danger. Troy Von Lowen, guitarist for Queens of the Stone Age. Marilyn Manson, vocalist for Marilyn Manson. And then Victor Valero, drummer for Angelus Apatrida, which still owes us a damn interview. Uh,
Technically, they do.
uh, so you quit changing your PR people, man. Damn. Uh, January 6th, we have Malcolm Young, guitarist for AC/DC, and unfortunately, he passed away in 2017. We had Peter Loran, vocalist for Trickster. And I've talked about this band before. I think like this, the really sad thing about that band is they came in too late. I think if they would have been about 5 years earlier, they,
Yeah.
they would. I mean, they'd still be a household name like Poison right now. But they came in like in '89 to
Oh,
'90,
yeah.
right when Nirvana was coming in to kill everything off. So it was just bad timing for that band, dude.
Uh-huh.
So um, we had plenty of talent, just bad timing.
Yeah, the mood had changed.
It had, yeah. So which luckily it didn't last long, but
Yeah. Hmm.
January 7th we had Ivan Moody, vocalist and songwriter for Five Finger Death Punch. We had our good friend Tina Gunnarsson, vocalist for Hexed. January 8th, we had Mike Reno, vocalist for Loverboy. Andrew Wood, vocalist for Mother Love Bone. He passed away in 1990. If you're not familiar with that band, check them out, man. They were predicted to be the next Nirvana. So it was kind of sad we never seen if they could come to live up to that hype or not, because he kind of passed away early in the career. So then we had Damiano David, the vocalist for Mainskin, and then Adam Wallison, bassist for Nonpoint. January 9th, we had Phil Lewis, vocalist for LA Guns, and I did see them like last year. Let me tell you, that guy can still hit all those notes, man. At that age, it's crazy. Um, Alex Staropoli, keyboardist for Rhapsody of Fire, and then Jimmy Page, guitarist for Led Zeppelin, of course. And then, of course, today, January 10th, we had Pat Benatar, vocalist for her own band, of course. And then we had Michael Schenker, guitarist for MSG, UFO, and brief stint with the Scorpions with his brother Rudolph, which, if we had celebrity boxing, they'd probably be on it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I wonder if they're still like at odds with each other.
They are.
Are they?
They are.
It's just unreal, dude, to be, 70 years old and still hate each other.
They fucking do. They hate each other.
It's crazy. And then we had Brent Smith, vocalist for Shinedown. So that is the birthdays that I had. I don't know if there's anybody that I may have missed.
You may have. Let me take a quick look, because I could have swore that I saw that Dirk Verburen. I could have swore that Dirk Verburen, Dirk Verburen, drummer for Megadeth, his birthday was January 8th.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yep. So yes, he is 50 years old, Dirk Verburen. So
Cool. It's crazy. I go to two different outlets and none of them mentioned him, which is fucking unreal. Like, you're a metal outlet. Jesus Christ.
right. And man, Dirk is a ridiculously underrated drummer. My God.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, it's unreal.
All right, so that will be the birthdays. Happy birthday to all of those, and then of course, any of you listen happy birthdays. Happy birthday to you as well.
That's right. All right.
We will move into our metal news of the week.
Yep, metal news of the week, and as Jason alluded to a little bit ago, we do have some not so good news to lead off with, ×3, unfortunately, this week. Leading off this week over at blabbermouth.net, Manfred Schutz, founder of SPV and founder and managing director of MIG Music, passed away on January 3rd at the age of 74 after a long and serious illness. Manfred was a driving force in the music industry. By founding SPV in 1984, he created a platform that enabled independent artists and labels to gain worldwide recognition. SPV grew to become one of the most significant entities in the independent label sector, particularly in the rock, metal, and electronic scenes, and for many years was the largest independent music distributor in Europe. After leaving SPV, Manfred founded MIG Music, where he dedicated himself to preserving musical treasures from oblivion Thanks to his immense musical knowledge, many remarkable releases have been realized. MIG Music says, quote, "We often received emails from fans expressing their gratitude for the work of MIG Music. Manfred was not only a musical enthusiast and businessman, but also an open and warm person. His office door was always open, and he always had time to listen to his employees. We will miss Manfred very much. We are not only losing a boss, but above all, a dear friend. We fully agree with the words of Ekai Stieg, a friend and companion, in his tribute. Quote, with Manfred, we are losing a label boss of the quote-unquote old school with all his quirks and eccentricities, as well as a true connoisseur and fan," end quote. So yeah, somebody, I mean, who maybe not a lot of people knew, but a lot of people should be grateful for.
Oh yeah,
That shit got started. Mm-hmm. Without guys like him over there, and then like people like, Johnny and Marsha Z over here, I mean, you gotta have people who want to support the scene and help the scene move forward.
Yeah.
Because then the music gets out there to the fans get to hear the music, everybody comes up together.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a triumvirate, it's all got to work together.
All right, my first one is over from Metal Hammer. There's a 3-part documentary about Marilyn Manson that's going to air over 3 consecutive nights on Channel 4 in the UK this month. A press statement from Channel 4, which will broadcast Marilyn Manson Unmasked on January 14th, 15th, and 16th, has the following synopsis. Quote, from his meteoric rise as the self-proclaimed Antichrist superstar to the chilling abuse allegations that have engulfed his career, this series dives deep into Marilyn Manson's world to separate fact from fiction. End quote. The first part of the documentary, titled "The Birth of Marilyn Manson," covers former music journalist Brian Warner's transformation into the controversial rock star. The episode synopsis states, quote, from his shocking stage antics to his offensive backstage behavior, Manson became a lightning rod for moral panic. Accused by many of being a malign influence on American youth, he faced backlash for allegedly inspiring violence, including the Columbine High School massacre. Manson used the controversy to position himself as a misunderstood artist and an advocate for listening to disillusioned youth, end quote. Episode 2, Allegations of Abuse, details the allegations against Manson and included an interview with actress Evan Rachel Wood, a former partner of the musician, who shared revelations of her horrific time with Manson in the HBO documentary Phoenix Rising. The concluding episode, The Reckoning, investigates the fallout from the abuse allegations plus wider implications for the entertainment industry. Manson has denied all allegations against him and released a new album, One Assassination Under God, Chapter 1, in November. So if you kind of want to peek into all of that without, reading 20 different stories, I mean, there you go. So,
right, yeah.
I always like documentaries that, if they're done right, I mean, if they're not biased, because you don't want to, I mean, look at the Vince McMahon one, he kind of got mad because it wasn't biased, but I mean, you want us to tell the truth, or you want us to kind of that kind of thing, which,
that Vince McMahon thing was actually very good.
Yeah, and I haven't watched it yet, which is kind of surprising since, everybody knows I am kind of into wrestling pretty big. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I guess like some things, from what I've heard, it's like people say, "Oh, did you know?" I'm like, "Yeah, that don't surprise me." You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's not surprising. Like I've heard stories, and I know, I personally know, I have people's phone numbers in this phone right here that have worked for Vince McMahon. So it's not surprising from some of the things that I've heard from those guys. So
right. I might check that out one day. The Marilyn Manson thing. I've seen the Vince McMahon thing, but I might check that Marilyn Manson thing out one day, because I know when all that shit kind of blew up, we kept reporting on it, and at one point we're like, all right, we're gonna stop talking about this until anything,
Oh yeah, because it gets redundant if we're just talking about it every week. Yeah, if we're just talking about the same thing every week, it's kind of like, okay, we know the charges at this point, so let's see what comes of it, and then we'll report as we get charges dropped or charges,
convicted,
convictions or whatever.
Convictions,
so, and we haven't really. I mean, most of it's been drops so far. So Good. I
dropped
guess
or
that's good
settled.
on.
Some of it's been settled.
Yeah, some of it's been settled. But I mean, good on him. Whatever. I mean, you know, if he's able to do it that way, and the people, are agreeing to take care of it that way, then that's a mutual agreement on both parties. So whatever.
Yep.
Which to me, I hate to tell you, but if I ever get abused or anything like that, if I had ever been that way in my life, you're paying me through the fucking end, dude. You're going to fucking court. You're going to court. We're going to hear this.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm, if I'm 100%, you know,
Mm-hmm.
if I know you're 100% guilty, then I'm going to fucking.
Oh, I'm seeing it all the way through. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm going to wait. I'm not going to wait 15 to 30 years to do it either. I would have, I would have done it a long time ago, but
right. Yeah, but that's neither here nor there because
well, right. I mean,
but,
if you're guilty, you're guilty. I don't care if you did it fucking 50 years ago. I mean,
exactly. That's kind of the way I look at it.
You just lucky you got away with it for that long, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, my next one is
as I say, you should have been burned at the stake 50 years ago.
Well, yeah. All right, staying over at Blabbermouth, Fredrik Lindgren, a.k.a. Freddie Eugene, original guitarist for pioneering Swedish death metal band Unleashed, passed away on January 5th at the age of 53. Lindgren played guitar for Unleashed from 89 to 95. He can be heard on the studio albums Where No Life Dwells, Shadows in the Deep, Across the Open Sea, Victory, and the live albums Live in Vienna 93, Eastern Blood, Hail to Poland in 1995. After leaving Unleashed, Lindgren played guitar in several other Swedish bands, including Atlantic Tide, Loud Pipe, Celestial Pain, Terra Firma, Born of Fire, and Harm's Way. Unleashed said in a statement, quote, "Warriors, sadly the news have reached us that Fredrik Lindgren, lead guitar of Unleashed 89 to 95, has passed away. Fredrik was a huge part of the early history of the band. For this, we are eternally grateful. See you in Valhalla, brother," end quote. Lindgren's passing was also confirmed by his one-time Terra Firma bandmate, Lord Christus, a.k.a. Christian Linderson, who used to sing in the Swedish band Count Raven and the pioneering Los Angeles doom metal act Saint Vitus. Christus took to his Facebook page on Sunday to write, quote, "In loving memory of Freddie Eugene, 71 to 2025. Numbed by the news of your passing, Fredrik, my old friend, hard to put emotions into words. Just hope you have found your peace as you deserve no less. You will not only be missed by me, but many I know this much. Thank you for being a part of my life and colored it with your friendship and musicianship, both embodied in what was Terra Firma. We had some really great times, and that will never change. All my love," end quote. So, again, no cause of death for Manfred or for Fredrik. So, but again, 53 probably taken a little too soon. So,
for sure. I mean, I don't know. I feel like we lost people like when we grew up at that age, and we didn't think, we thought, oh, that's old. But now that we're close to that age, we're thinking that probably wasn't really that old.
Yeah, it is a matter of perspective. Yeah, because I mean, we're kind of we're creeping up there, and it's like, shit, 53 kind of is young.
Yeah, right.
Because we can see it on the horizon. It's like, ugh.
Yeah,
it's too close.
Yeah, that's not a hill. Not a hill I want to die on at 53. Sure, I mean, like 83 maybe, not 53. But let me see where I got this one from. I'm sorry, this is a kind of a lengthy one, so bear with me. Probably put this one will probably put me into a coughing fit, I'm sure. This one over from Blabbermouth. In a new interview with Nikki Black of San Francisco's 107.7 The Bone radio station, Death Angel and Kerry King vocalist Martha Segueda spoke about why Death Angel pulled out of its fall 2024 tour as a support act for Wasp. Replacing them on the bill was Armored Saint. He said, as transcribed by blabbermouth.net, which I don't know why they did that because I'm on Blabbermouth, but anyway, quote, "Since this whole Kerry brand happened, and still being a major part of Death Angel, there was some backlash from a lot of Death Angel fans, thinking that my involvement with Kerry might be the end of Death Angel or it's taking away from Death Angel. And then there was a tour that Death Angel had to drop off of, and it was because there was conflicting dates with Kerry. But when that Wasp tour was offered to Death Angel, I had to put it out put it out there to the powers that be. Okay, but I can't guarantee I'll be able for the whole tour. Just know this in advance. So if you take it, I will have to do shows with Carrie if they get booked, and it looks like they very well may. And it's still in my words were taken in with enthusiasm. They just heard to a certain degree. People thought, well, let's do it. I said, okay, let's. But once again, I mean, I'm every bit of communication we had, I would reiterate that. And we still went for it, throwing caution to the wind, and the wind blew back eventually, so to speak. And I said, hey, what we didn't want to happen is happening, but we all knew this going in advance. So this is what we can do. And I actually, being someone, I do try to troubleshoot for Death Angel all the time because there's been so many years that Death Angel has been self-managed by me, Rob, and Ted. And we also had management, but we always worked with management very well. So I tried to troubleshoot, and I said, "Look, I could do. I could think of a few singers that could fill in, and I gave them some names and whatnot, and just as an option, because I didn't want them to lose the tour. But the reality is what the reality was. So eventually, what came back when that was offered to the Wasp camp and booking agents, whatnot, they just basically said, well, we don't want a fill-in for two particular times because I would have missed the two batches of dates, and they didn't want that to be the case. That's pretty much the stance they took. So then from there on, push came to shove, and they got Armor Saint, which I think is a great bill. I mean, who's to say that Wasp and Death Angel wouldn't have been a great bill? A lot of people were looking forward to it. Mark continued, prior to Death Angel pulling out of the Wasp tour, there was not much negativity about me and Carrie's band, but when that hit, then the floodgates opened. And that's when a lot of people started saying negative things about me and my character and how it was affecting the band that they love. Unbeknownst to them, believe it or not, I love that band more than they do. um, Alcegueda often defended the fact that he didn't inform Death Angel bandmates that he joined Carrie's solo group until his involvement was officially announced last February. I couldn't really tell the guys because of NDAs signed and whatnot. And I know people will say, "Well, that's your blood; those are your bros." But it's an NDA; it's legal; it's a binding contract that I signed, and I respect that. And wording in NDAs are kind of daunting. The metal community is a hen house, he added. It really is, and just bap, 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 and word just gets out, and it's like rapid fire. And blabbermouth or not, it just takes someone from one crew, one band, and they find out, and it just goes around. And we had to go out of our way to keep this basically the biggest secret there was, because everyone kind of had an idea who was in Carrie's band, but for the most part, no one knew who the singer was. They all assumed it was Phil Anselmo, and it was just kind of quite a big secret to keep down. So that was hard, and I understand that. And I explained that to the guys when I did tell them, and there you go. Mark added, but again, as I said, when we took the Wasp tour, I did tell the powers that be that make the decisions for the band, me being one of them, what could occur. Now, say the powers that be within the band, sorry, or people that don't have the power in the band to make the decisions, they might have known that I had perfected or had prefaced this with management and the guys who make the business decisions. And not everyone in the band is a decision maker when it comes to the band. And that's just the pecking order of how this band works. Some of us have longevity and priority, and some of us don't. And that will always be the case, even if it goes down to 2 decades from now. Rob and I still have the two more decades more history in the band. So that's just the case. And it's a better way for a band to work. We've tried with the original Death Angel lineup to do it as a democracy, and it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It just breeds more chaos and more tension, strife, too many cooks in the kitchen, so to speak, with everything from writing to set list to everything. So there needs to be some sort of set structure, or at least with this band, it works better that way. And most bands I've seen have longevity. It tends to be the case as well. Asked which singers were on the short list to fill in for him, Mark said, "Well, I don't even know. I shouldn't go down that road, but I suggested a few names, and then I think management and people were looking into people as well, and it just wasn't, I guess, gelling, especially with Rob. Rob and I had a few conversations, and he's like, it's just not the same." And I'm not saying it is or isn't for any band or it's different for any band, but it is hard. And I'm not saying the importance of the position, but it is hard in a lot of bands to get a fill in singer. It just is. Because people are used to him or her being in the front person, and now and how they engage with the crowd and how they work and the voice, everything. And excuse me. So that's another thing Rob was really concerned about, which makes absolute sense. And in our personal conversations, he was saying it would be easier for us to find a fill in for me for a few dates than it is for you. And he said that selfishly, you know. But basically, when it boils down to it, everyone in Death Angel is a crucial part of Death Angel. But I know as a fan of different bands, weren't, if you went to go see Death Angel without me or Rob for that one show, there's going to be a great deal of people out there say, "Well, I kind of got robbed," and that sucks. Uh, and that's just kind of the nature of the beast and the nature of the history of this band. With all the bands, that's just how it is. It's like if you went to see Black Sabbath and they had a fill in for Tony Iommi, you'd be like, "Oh," and, they're, and they're an exception. There have been bands that have replaced lead singers. Obviously, AC/DC, Black Sabbath are two prime examples, and Iron Maiden. There's a handful, but it's not a common occurrence in that it works out so swimmingly and successfully. In December 2024 interview with Planeta del Rock, Aguilera was asked why Death Angel pulled out of the Waltz tour, and he said this, at the time, quote, schedule conflicts with Kerry King. Kerry King has some dates booked in Mexico during that time, so it's just schedule conflicts, and it's okay. It does suck, but things happen for a reason. It would have been a nice tour. Of course, you know, we're bummed that we're not doing it, but you have to look at the positive side of things and go, well, we were able to write more songs for the upcoming Death Angel record instead of prepping for a tour and getting everything ready. So it didn't happen. Armored Saint got the tour. They're a good band and they deserve it. But we look at it as, well, since we're not doing the tour, what are we going to do? Well, let's continue writing more songs. So I think at the end of the day, it's a lot better to write more songs, because if we would have done the tour, we would have done 5 weeks of support. And where are we going to prepare for the Christmas shows? All these songs, these different set lists. I look at things as things happen for a reason, and for whatever reason it is, it brought us here. And we're okay with that, man. We're all right. Uh, there will be more tours to come about, so you just have to find the positive out of it all. If you dwell on the negative, then it's not going to do you any good. Just find the positive, just like anything in life. So something happens, just okay. Don't focus on the problem, focus on the solution. The solution is, hey, okay, this is what we're going to do. You have to bounce back right away. End quote. Let's see. Uh, Ted added, quote, it does suck that we couldn't do the tour. We would have loved to go on tour with Wasp, and of course we love to play live, but the new record is important too. These Christmas shows were important, so there'll be more to come around in 2025, end quote. Asked if he has listened to Kerry King's solo album From Hell I Rise, which features King and Alceguedo alongside drummer Paul Bostaff from Slayer and bassist Kyle Sanders from Hell Yeah and guitarist Phil Dimmel from Machine Head. Ted said, yeah, I listened to it once. It's what I expected. I think Mark sounds great for the record. And they're doing their thing. I have to give hats off to Kerry. Slayer discontinued, and he moved on with his stuff. He definitely picked the right guys to play with him, and I've seen some footage live. They're fucking doing amazing. So hats off to them. It's great. It's a positive thing. It's good for Mark. Mark loves it. So he sounded really good, and it's just going to benefit both bands. That's how I look at it. The only tough part is trying to figure out schedules, but that's something we could deal with, but it's going to benefit both parties, so there you go, end quote. Regarding the possibility of Death Angel and Kerry King's solo band performing together at some point in the future, Ted said, quote, that's up to Mark because of his voice, but never say never. things may happen. It could be a festival. Could be at a festival. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But if it does come about, but I bet to the fans they would like it. But I guess it all depends on Mark if his voice can handle it. He only knows. I mean, on paper it looks good, but behind paper you gotta go with Mark and what he can do. If he says yeah, it worked. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So when it was first announced in August of 2024 that Death Angel was pulling out of the Waltz tour, the only reason given for the cancellation was unforeseen circumstances, with no further information offered. However, Death Angel drummer Will Carroll later shed some light on the issues that led to Death Angel pulling off the tour. Writing on his personal Facebook page, it's pretty fucking obvious why his band was no longer taking part in the track. The word betrayal comes to mind, he wrote, adding, we knew there would be some problems at some point, but not so immediately, end quote. Not long after Death Angel's tour dates with Wasp were announced, King's social media revealed that Carey's band would be playing 2 shows in Mexico in early November, one concert in Mexico City that to support Act for Amon Amarth on November 6th, and another gig as a support for Slipknot in Guadalajara on November 8th, in direct conflict with the Wasp tour, which was scheduled to launch in late October and conclude in mid-December. Kerry King also confirmed appearances at the 3 Good Things Rest Festival shows in Australia in early December. Oh, man. So, let's see. In May of 2024, Asagueda was asked during an appearance on the Let There Be Talk podcast with the rock and roll comedian Dean Del Rey how he broke the news to his band, his Death Angel bandmates, that he was joining Kerry King's solo group. Singer said, "Oh man, with this one it was tough. I really had to respect the NDA. I really did." And I think we've talked about this before, so I'm not going to really go through all that. I think we kind of know why he did what he did. So, so let's see. I'm going to go down to. Elaborating on how he approached the longtime bandmates of his involvement, he said in the email, "Look, this is the toughest thing for me to tell you." I think I went through all this before.
I think so.
Yeah, so let's see. Let's see. Because I hate when they kind of backtrack with these stories, and I thought I cut it all out, but I guess I didn't. Mark added, "I'm excited about everything. I'm excited about everything ahead, but yeah, for sure, it was definitely a delicate situation. Even before it was happening, when I knew it was coming up, it was like, I've got to choose my words carefully. It's tough, but now that it's out, I feel so relieved that it's out. And since then, Death Angel toured South and Central America together recently, and that was the first tour we did since Kerry King announcement. And some of Kerry's songs have been released. So everyone got along great, and it's out, and it just feels so much better to be around the guys with them knowing. I just felt at odds with them not knowing." Asked by Del Rey if he made this clear in his initial email that he was not quitting Death Angel, Mark said, "Absolutely. The first, I'm kind of yammering about the process of it, but I definitely said I'm very much still the singer of Death Angel." And of course, when I was talking to Rob, Rob was like, "I was very happy to hear you say that." Like, of course, bro. So this kind of made me think like maybe the media kind of shoved some false information out there about this when it first came out. Because I think when we first talked about it, that's kind of like what I brought it up. Because I know like when we first talked about this, it was kind of it looked like Mark was just kind of like not being totally honest and upfront with them, and then they were kind of Rob and all them were kind of negative about how he approached it and all that stuff, which obviously isn't the case. So so I just wanted to make sure that I told everybody's side there, that kind of Rob was saying that was saying that he was fine with it. So
yeah, I think Will was the most upset about it, but
well, I mean, he's not even an original member, so he's a
no, I know, but I mean, he's a current member, so I mean, he's been there a decent amount of time.
Yeah, but he was even saying that him, Rob, and Ted kind of carry the responsibilities for the band. So,
Oh well, no
know,
doubt,
being that they were the three most tenured people in the band, so
absolutely.
which makes sense. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just kind of glad that we know that's out of the way. We know a new Death Angel record's coming, so all,
Yes, we do.
all good in the
In the music hood for sure.
in the camp, yeah. So
Shut
and and being have met Mark Osagueda before, I'm just fucking with you, Chris. So.
up.
Oh man.
You're never gonna live that down, and it was a total accident.
Yeah, it was like it was so funny because I was looking for you. I was like, "Where the fuck did he go?" And I said, "Man, I
Yeah.
hope he didn't go outside because I was in the bathroom or whatever." And I said, "Well, maybe
Yeah.
he's in the bathroom." And I waited. I said, "Well, fuck, I don't know where he went." So,
Yep.
and it was like, "Well, y'all better hurry up. He's going to leave." So I fucking went over to the bar before.
No,
he left, so.
no, I totally don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. I mean, it's a funny story, but
Well, yeah, but
yeah, it's a funny story.
so, I don't rub it in just to piss him off. I mean,
No, I
fuck-
know. No, I know.
He fucks with me about Pantera. Don't believe me.
I do not.
He's like, yeah, but I've seen the original. Man, fuck you.
No, I don't. I do not.
Don't let him lie. He does.
I do not.
No, he really does.
Jesus Christ.
He really does. And I'm fucking with him.
Yeah, okay, fine.
But he could. He could definitely do that.
Well, if I wanted to, but I mean that wouldn't be fair to do.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad about it. I'd be like, yeah,
Well,
okay, yeah, I know, motherfucker.
Here's the reason why it wouldn't be fair to do that to you. Because even though Pantera is technically on tour and you did get to see him with Lamb of God last year, we've talked about it before, it's not the Pantera.
Right.
And you, because of what's happened in the past, that we all know what's happened, is you don't have that chance.
Right.
I still have a real world chance where I could meet Mark at some point.
Well, true. Yeah, that is true.
In the circumstances of what happened that night in Chattanooga, you and I we literally just in the shuffle of people walking out, we just kind of lost sight of each other. I thought you went outside. You thought I went to the bathroom. We did the exact opposite thing. And you ended up getting to meet Mark because I was already outside and I wouldn't have been able to come back into the video. Anyway. So yeah, it's a funny story. It is. It's an absolute funny story. And I've told this before. A little kind of funny side caveat to that story is, as I was standing outside, Dana and Krista walked right past me.
And didn't even know it.
Only I didn't know it at the time.
Yeah, we didn't know what they even looked like until the Megadeth show.
Right. And then I was like, "Holy shit! You walked right past me out in front of the signal." So yeah, it's a great story.
Yeah, and then of course he goes out back and meets all the fuckers, assholes.
He did, and sent us all the pictures.
Yeah,
sent us all the pictures.
Yeah,
it's a funny story. Oh shit! Hell yeah! All right, last one over at Blabbermouth about the passings. Ragnar Wahlquist, guitarist and vocalist for Heavy Load, which is widely regarded as the first Swedish heavy metal band and the first Viking metal act, has died at the age of 69. According to SVT, Ragnar and his younger brother Styrbjorn were in the middle of recording Heavy Load's 5th album at the time of Ragnar's death. The intention is to complete the album to carry the band forward. It is generally believed that Heavy Load was the band that started the Swedish wave of heavy metal in the middle of the 1970s. Their first album was released in 1978. They are also considered to be the first Viking metal band in the world. Heavy Load was established in Stockholm during the grim winter of 1974-75 by the two brothers, Ragnar on guitars, vocals, and keyboards, and Styrbjorn vocals and drums. The vision and the passion of the Wahlquist brothers was always the kernel of the band's audacious drive, its drive to venture out on musical journeys and to spread their music to the world. The Viking heritage has been an important source of inspiration ever since their childhood. The brothers' emotional connection to people of a remote past, people with whom they share everlasting human challenges, was destined to find an outlet in their music. As a consequence, the brothers merged 1970s hard rock with Viking settings and sentiments, resulting in the band's distinctive style of music and lyrics, Viking metal, a style which came to inspire later bands in Sweden and elsewhere. So, definitely a trendsetter. It's got to come from somewhere. Somebody
Yep.
always has to be the originator.
Yep.
And there you
Definitely do.
go. That's why you have the bands you have today. That's why you have Amon Amarth and among all those other among many, many others.
How many more stories you have?
Two.
You want to do one more?
Sure. Moving over to the PRP for my next one. This GoFundMe has just been launched to raise funds for ex Mushroomhead vocalist Jeffrey Nothings, aka Jeffrey Hattrick's cancer battle. That campaign follows a previous crowdfunding campaign for his health struggles back in November of 2023. His daughter Mia is once again organizing this latest campaign and had the following to share of Jeffrey's health. Quote, my dad has recently been diagnosed with cancer just months after losing my mom to the same thing. Due to this, he may have to stop working during his treatment. Anything means everything. Thank you, end quote. Hattricks himself also shared the link on social media offering, quote, I really wanted to keep this to myself. I was diagnosed a couple of months ago. It will be very hard to continue working with the treatment path I have chosen. Thank you for anything you can do to help. I know everyone is going through a lot, end quote. Tragically, Jeffrey's wife Stacy passed away last year after first being diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer back in 2015. Coincidentally, former Mushroomhead vocalist Waylon Rivas also battled colon cancer. Nothing was a co-founding member of the aforementioned. Okay, I don't need all that. So let's see. The current GoFundMe for Jeffrey's cancer, $14,500. $14,584 raised of a $20,000 goal. So they're 3/4 of the way to the
Not
goal
bad.
already. So that's actually a pretty good start. So
Yeah.
as they both said in the story, anything is helpful. So as always, fuck cancer.
I didn't know he was not in the band anymore, which was crazy. Like I don't
Oh
remember.
yeah, Jeffrey and Waylon. They had like a huge falling out over. I think it was money. Pretty sure it was money. Uh, but yeah, so they had a massive falling out.
I mean that would explain why
I don't know how long ago.
would explain why I didn't like the last two Mushroom Head albums though. I mean,
Could be.
well, I mean, I think Jeffrey just added that little bit of something, special to it that it's not there anymore. It's kind of,
Yeah.
and of course that may be why they added the female vocalist too to give them something a little different, which I do
Could be.
like. I do like her. I mean, she's
Yeah.
she's good. Yeah. What's just crazy about her is like she's good in Mushroom Head, but I don't like her band.
Well, hey,
I don't
sometimes just
I don't
so,
understand why. I
well,
just
sometimes just singing in a different atmosphere in a different style. Sometimes it just works better.
Yeah, I think that's what it probably is. So
And I know what you're saying about the last two Mushroomhead albums. I liked them, but
they just weren't impressive. Yeah,
not as much. Not as
yeah.
much. There's definitely a different.
It
Well,
seemed like
well,
they
there's a there's a
seemed like there was a little more techno to it. I
there
guess.
there is there is there's no doubt about that. And obviously there is a completely different element with a female singer. So
Right.
it's not the same. It just isn't. So I don't think it's bad, but it's just definitely different.
Yeah. All right. Reason I asked you to do that because this one's kind of going to be lengthy for me too. So I kind of wanted to
All right.
get a breath before I went into other headlines, and I didn't want to like have you stacked up either. So,
Okay, that's fine.
but this one over from Loudwire, and this one's kind of something that's unless you've been under a rock over the last week, you kind of know that there's some wildfires raging over the Palisades area of Los Angeles right now. So rockers are sharing photos and updates and stuff, and that's kind of what I'm going to go through right here. The initial fire was first reported at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time on Tuesday, January 7th, which I find this interesting because WWE held two live events there this week
Monday.
on Monday and Tuesday.
Monday.
They were both live, so which was crazy to me that they. I guess it just hasn't spread into that area yet. The reason why
I
they
don't
just
think
kept
it has.
kept them going because I think it had gotten worse over Wednesday and yesterday, which I think they were talking about they were seeing some containment now, which is good.
Oh, that is good.
So hopefully, and then they've gotten some suspects for arson in custody too. So
Come on, man.
you know, They actually say in the way it looks that it could have been started in 4 points and this, so it could be more than one person, which is, unreal that you would want to do that to some people. Which, I mean, to me, it's probably going to be something stupid like political. You know what I mean?
Probably.
But to me, it's like politics aren't going to keep you out of jail. So
No, they aren't.
it's actually going to put you under worse, more than likely. So
And
um,
the scope of the damage, whoever
yeah.
these people are, they had better never see the light of day again.
No, they won't.
I
I
mean,
mean, 10 people's already died. So
yeah. So so you're a mass murderer,
exactly.
and you have committed billions of dollars in
So
damage,
it's
and
it's all
some of the
it
stuff
can,
that's been damaged cannot be replaced.
no, and it's almost, I would almost say, would be considered a terrorist attack on U.S. soil. So
I would say,
I mean, you really could say that from what's been damaged and what they did. So
yep, I would classify it as that.
I would too. Just
Depending
just to,
on,
just to hold their ass under the fucking jail, man. Like,
yeah, keep them there.
yeah. So anyway, the initial fire was reported 10:30 a.m. Pacific time on Tuesday, January 7th, and has since spread over 11,000 acres with 0% containment. This was at the time of the story yesterday.
Yeah.
So like I said, today was updated. They have started seeing some containment, so that's good. Due to the Santa Ana winds, as per California's Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, there are currently 3 other blazes in Altadena, Silmar, and near Sepulveda basin in the San Fernando Valley, according to CBS News. California Governor, piece of shit Gavin Newsom, declared
Yeah,
a state of
good idea to put that in there.
state of emergency, and at least 30,000 residents in the Pacific Palisades area alone were forced to evacuate. The Los Angeles County Fire Department confirmed that 2 people have died and at least 1,000 structures have been destroyed. California has deployed 1,400 plus firefighter personnel and hundreds of pre-positioned assets to combat these unprecedented fires. And LA emergency officials, firefighters, and first responders are all hands on deck through the night to do everything possible to protect lives, Governor Newsom wrote on a post on X. People in surrounding areas can get live updates for the fires on an app called Watch Duty, which provides a map of the fires, alerts, smoke distance, flight trackers, evacuation orders, available shelters, and more. The Watch Duty organization is powered by active and retired firefighters, dispatchers, and first responders who monitor the circumstances in real time. Cal Fire has also prepared a Go evacuation guide for individuals who are preparing to evacuate. It has helpful pre-evacuation advice, power outage information, evacuation procedures, animal evacuation, and what to do if you are trapped. People can also donate to Global Giving's California Wildlife Relief Fund to help provide food, fuel, clean water, and shelter for those who are affected. Some rock musicians have shared photos and safety updates during the fire devastation, according to including, Scott Ian from Anthrax, Filters, Richard Patrick, Brett Michaels, Joe Bonamassa, and more. Actually, I'm going to share this with you guys because there's pictures from those guys, which I think, um, you know, kind of shed light on a lot of this because it's really
I saw something
stuff.
that Joe
Let me.
Bonamassa. I saw something that Joe Bonamassa. He had more than one museum that was being threatened by the
Mhm.
fire, and these museums, these I don't like it when any museum gets destroyed. I love going to museums,
Right.
but when you can, because like I say, those artifacts once they're destroyed, they are gone.
They're gone, yeah. So,
So
so this was a picture from Scott Ian of Anthrax. Not sure if he was, how close he was to this, or if he zoomed in on it, or what. But that was his
oh,
this picture that he sent. This was from the Palisades. Smashing Pumpkins. Billy Corrigan was talking about see the smoking behind him there. So
oh, you can
smoke from L.A.
you can
Actually, probably you can see the smoke from Reno. I'm sure. I mean,
well
because
you can see it from space. I saw a picture of it
oh,
from space.
really? That's crazy. This one was from Filters Richard Patrick. Yeah, I mean, this is like some damn,
That's horrifying.
Armageddon looking pictures, man.
Yeah, that is
This is
horrifying.
crazy. Well, yeah, I mean, even no matter where you're at, I mean, uh, Sepultura's Derek Green was showing a picture of his, puppy dog there. So,
Aw. I
um,
mean,
so
I tell you one thing right now.
he had evacuated, so him and his people are safe.
Okay.
So this was Joe Bonamassa's picture there. Um, so just putting stuff in there. If you haven't, if you've seen these photos, fine. If you haven't, I mean, this is kind of what I'm,
I no, I haven't actually.
doing into. This is another from Joe Bonamassa of this
Jesus,
stuff just burnt. I mean, just this just like he said it was 200 feet from his studio. So
man. Mhm.
so pretty crazy to see what this one.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's one of his. That's one of his museums.
Yeah. So crazy, man. It's not in my hands anymore. He said it's very hard place to be as a curator. It's his, it's my lifetime of work. I knew this day would come eventually, but not just today. Just not today. So far so good tonight. The situation is very fluid. Major thanks to firefighters and first responders for giving it their all this past few weeks. Stay safe. So, Alkaline Trios, Matt Skiba shared. I mean, like I said, this stuff is just like, I mean, almost like a nuclear war in the background, dude. It's so fucking crazy, man.
I tell you one thing: there better not be a single fucking celebrity that has water in their swimming pool right now.
Oh, you ain't lying here. So, Rage Against the Machines, Brad Wilk, he posted that one. So,
That's unreal, man.
kind of wanted to make a Rage Against the Machine joke there, but I don't think it's appropriate. So,
Nah, yeah, time and place. Yeah, time
yeah.
and place.
Here, let me see. This
To
is
all of our friends getting hit hard with this winter weather advisory back east and in the Midwest, and to our friends in Pacific Palisades and Southern California that are getting hit with the fires right now, please be careful. It's creeping over the mountain right now, and it's exactly what happened to me in the Malibu fires when it got part of my house and the barns.
that was Poison's Brett Michaels. Of course, if you know anything about him, he lives in the Nashville area now, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
Doug Aldrich, pretty much White Snake, correct? I think that's right. So, just listen to that. Listen to that, dude.
Well, that's the wind that's made it.
Yeah.
That's the wind that's made it so bad. And look at how much water they're just able to throw at this at one time. I mean, that's like nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like throwing a fucking golf ball at a fucking.
It's like trying to spit into the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say it's like this is Doug Pinnick from King's X.
Jesus
He's actually in Colorado, I think he said, so he's safe. But this was a picture from his cameras, I think, from his house there. So,
Oh.
yeah. So
Golly,
that's scary, man. How scared does it have to be for you to be somewhere else and seeing that your house is about to be gone?
Well, I mean, and how helpless does he feel?
Yeah, that too.
He's like, I'm not even there, and I just, ugh.
Yeah.
See, look, get all of that water. Get that water.
Yeah, Corey Feldman was like, my heart goes out to all the innocent lives that would be lost in the forest and to good people who lose everything and don't deserve this. For some, karma may be at play. May God be with you, and I'm sure you know who you are if you're chief. I mean, in his defense, he's been trying to leak stuff on people in Hollywood for years, and they call him crazy. So, that's probably what he's meaning. He's not saying anything.
No. But
he's not meaning it that way. But
right. But no, but he brought up one thing that not a whole lot of people will think of. The amount of animals that nobody thinks about that.
Right, exactly.
The amount of wildlife that is going to die.
Yeah, I mean, probably already has because they can't run from it.
Right. I mean, obviously, all of the vegetation.
Yep.
Obviously, the vegetation, but of course, oh my God, the forest is on fire, and that is bad. But the amount of wildlife.
And this is from Ben Collar. The vac zone was creeping up on us. Made the executive decision to play it safe and get the hell out of the city. Air quality was atrocious, which I'm sure it is. I mean, that's even worse if you're, if you have stuff like, COPD and stuff like. I mean, you get the hell out of there, dude. You can't. You're not going to be able to breathe, man. You're
No.
gonna die. You're gonna die from that, and then you're gonna get burnt the fuck up. So,
Yeah.
Automatic cremation, I guess if you could say.
I mean, basically.
Yeah. So this is from Josh Gilbert from Spirit Box. He, update there. Our magical house on Wapaleto Street didn't make it. I have no words. Heartbroken for our neighbors. Everything is gone. We haven't made it back to the kiddies yet, but we will be sheltering in a safe place once we do figure out our next steps. So not too much to say. Just thankful for the be safe. So there you go, man. That's some of the
That's unreal, man.
Yeah. I also wanted to.
And the fucked up thing is, like the people that they have in custody, they probably thought that shit was funny.
Well, I mean, it's just kind of like the stuff in Gatlinburg that time when
Yeah, same thing.
people said it and sat back and laughed about it for fucking months until they got caught. And
It boggles my mind, man.
trying to find something here that got told to me earlier that I didn't know about this stuff.
It is good that if it's true what you heard. I mean, if they are finally making some progress on containment, at least there's that. Because I mean, hell, I was kind of following it sporadically here and there on like Facebook and stuff. Dude, I swear, I thought this shit was. I thought there was no way they were going to be able to stop it. I thought it was just going to take over the whole city and just burn all the way to the ocean.
Yeah,
I swear that's what it was looking like for a while.
yeah, it's wild looking, dude. I mean, it's is this
Craziness.
Oh come on, man! I gotta
And
find
for it to be deliberate, I mean, that's just more frustrating. Like, because sometimes wildfires are started by like lightning striking a field or something.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, it's been dried. Like they're under 0.25%
right.
of their normal water or rainfall already.
Yeah.
For this time of year. So,
But
yeah.
to hear that it was most likely arson, that is so much more
Well, yeah.
infuriating. Because at that point it's because if it's lightning striking a field, I mean that happens all the time. So I mean that's bad. Of course it's bad. But this is just senseless. Is all it is. It's just senseless.
This is an update I got from somebody out that way. They said they cut the fire department's budget and diverted fresh water from runoff rainwater that they used to have in reservoirs. They dumped it in the Pacific Ocean to save some small fish that didn't even need saving. so they created. They kind of created this shit on. They kind of created the situation. To be worse than what it should be because of that. For one, you don't cut the budget because especially when you know that you have wildfires. What the fuck, dude? Like,
yeah, I mean the Santa Ana winds are, they creep up all the time. But I mean, man, I'm not even going to say what I'm about to say because that's just going to open
another can of worms.
It could open up another can of worms. But it's just I'm just going to leave it alone.
Yeah. But I will say this, us here at Metalheads Unite, we offer our thoughts and prayers to everybody
Absolutely.
out there affected. I know we've talked to bands from that area. I know I hadn't really seen anything about Ricky. I don't know if he still has a place out there or not. I know he lives in North Carolina now, but I don't know if he still has a place there or not.
I don't know.
He didn't say anything about any of it whenever.
I haven't seen anything from him either, so I don't think so. But
yeah, probably not. But
please, everybody, please
stay safe, and we really do hope that they get this. So this is the thing to me that pisses me off worse than anything, and I want to touch on this, but not because I know we try to stay away from this kind of stuff, but people, this is not a political thing. Quit trying to make it political. It's not like, you know, everybody's like, oh well, they deserve that because they're blue state. No, they do not. There are innocent people there that live there because they can't move anywhere else. Why do you live where you live? Because you can't fucking afford to move. So these people can't afford to go anywhere else. Or they have, like right now, I can afford to move, but I won't because I have a granddaughter here. You know what I mean? They have family there. They want to be close to that. There's some reason that they're staying there that's keeping them there. They may not want to be there,
Yeah.
to this is the thing though. People were saying, "Oh, it's because they're you do know people voted Republican in the last election that live in California, right? I mean, everybody out there is not fucking blue. Like,
Yeah, and
that kind of
there were a lot of people who voted for Trump.
yeah, and that kind of what kills me is like people want to try to make everything fucking political. Dude, everything in the world is not political. It's like
The vast majority of the vast majority of things aren't.
exactly.
The vast majority of things aren't.
Somebody's running their mouth trying to make it that way, but it's not.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
it's like I think that's what burnt me up more than anything is like you preach all these things and then you turn around and say the shit that goes against what you've been preaching. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, oh well,
Hypocrisy.
Exactly. I mean, there's so much hypocrisy with anything. I mean, we can bring that up with religion and all. I mean, even in music, we see hypocrisy in music all the time. It's like
Especially in the band Hypocrisy, which is weird.
I know, right? But yeah. So it's. I wonder if they call their fucking followers hypocrites.
They should. I mean, they should. It'd be hypocritical.
Oh man, but we like I said, we have fun here, and but we seriously do wish and hope that
Yeah.
they get that thing situated. Man, nobody else needs to lose their life, and
Yeah,
especially over somebody's fucking evil intent. You know what I mean? Because
yeah, and this isn't.
they have one person in custody, possibly more than one person was involved. So
Yeah, and this isn't one of those things like a hurricane where you can ride it out.
yeah,
If you can get out, get out. Do not stay. Of course, I'm sure I'm not telling those folks anything they're not already going through, but
and
Just-
here's
just
the thing too. I'm going to tell you, anybody listening right now. Here's the thing too. Do not be listening to stuff that's posted on social media. There's stuff posted out there talking about insurance is kind of or cutting people off their insurance. Well, they can't do that. If your premiums,
can't.
if your premium is paid up, then you're covered. Sorry to tell you.
Nope.
so
and also, especially with what you just said, don't believe everything you see on social media.
well, no, because
somebody
people's always trying to start shit.
because just today, somebody posted a picture of the Rose Bowl on fire,
right,
which was fake, and
Right.
and
and
earlier
the Hollywood sign,
Hollywood sign was on fire,
Which is fake. Yeah.
So now,
Oh.
people posting things from their own personal accounts is different because those are people like, here's my house, I lost my house.
Right.
Hell, Billy Corgan was in his own selfie, so he took the pictures. I mean,
I do wanted to, since you brought that up, I wanted to share something that Marlon Wayans posted. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see.
Want me to read my last story real quick while you find
Yeah,
it?
go ahead while I find that. Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right. Over at Blabbermouth for my last one, file this under the mother of all fuck ups. The house where AC/DC was formed in 1973 was accidentally demolished in recent weeks, developers have claimed. According to the Herald Sun, the childhood home of the brothers and bandmates Angus and Malcolm Young, located on Burleigh Street in Sydney's Inner West, was bulldozed after it was purchased by developers in February of 2023 for 5.8 million Australian dollars, which is 3.638 US dollars. The house was listed on the National Trust list of historic homes in 2013 after becoming a pilgrimage point for fans of the legendary hard rock band. In a statement, Burwood Square Party Limited General Manager Leon Kamita said the company had only found out about the property's musical history after it was knocked down. Quote, on behalf of the team at Burwood Square, I want to convey our heartfelt regret that we have only just learned of the cultural significance of 4 Burley Street, the former home of AC/DC, one of music history's most iconic bands, he said. We now recognize how deeply this location resonates with the AC/DC community and fans worldwide. As we developed plans for this space, we conducted due diligence, including consulting heritage registers and collaborating with experts in the field. Unfortunately, the historical connection to AC/DC was not identified at that stage, and we regret that the previous long-term owner did not share this vital part of the property's background with us. We are genuinely sorry for this oversight. Learning about this connection after our plans were already underway has shocked us. We feel a strong responsibility to honor AC/DC's legacy and to make amends to all the fans who hold this band in such high regard. While we cannot change the past, we are dedicated to celebrating this significant part of their story. We are now salvaging materials from the demolition to create a special space such as a cafe, bar, or live music venue where fans can gather to celebrate the band's enduring legacy. We are also committed to seeking a collaboration with the young family, fan groups, and cultural experts to ensure our tribute is meaningful and respectful. Burwood Council has already acknowledged AC/DC's connection to the area with an impressive mural nearby, and we share in that commitment. We aim to ensure that our development also serves as a lasting tribute to their cultural impact. To the global fan base of AC/DC, please know that we hear you, appreciate your deep admiration for this legendary band, and we are devoted to making this right, end quote. How the fuck
Do you accidentally
did a house... How the fuck did a house that's been on the National Trust list of historic homes since 2013
get bulldozed? Yeah.
And purchased 10 years after that? How was that missed? How the fuck?
Oh shit! Where'd you go? Yep, Chris left us. Oh man, he. I think he accidentally hit something there, so we'll give him a second to rejoin us here. Man, that's pretty funny actually. All right, Chris, where you at? Hmm. You ain't got to leave, man.
No, I was
like, he done got fired up and hit a button over there, like, damn.
I was closing out the story, and there was like a lag on the little X that closes the tab, and I accidentally clicked it twice. And
I was like,
as soon as the one tab closed, I accidentally clicked to close my window out. So,
oh wow! Okay.
So yeah, that just if you did your proper due diligence, you would have seen that house was on the National Registry of Historic Homes for a decade. And here's another thing: why was there not a plaque on the house out in front of the house somewhere
saying that it was
saying please don't knock this house down? I mean, something.
It's protected, but
my God.
Oh man! And then I seen where they said, "Oh, we're sorry, hell, motherfucker."
Yeah, I mean, this isn't one of those. Oh, my bad. No,
you should have to pay their fucking. You should have to pay them for that shit. That's fucked up. You should have to pay for that. Maybe you'll pay attention next time. So
right.
So this I'm gonna share this screen too, real quick. Blow this one up. This is what we were talking about. This is not a real picture, of course. This is from Marlon Wayans. He says, wow, this image got me thinking spiritually. Not sure if it's real or not. Really don't care. To all my tribe of friends, family, executive agents, managers, crew members, this ain't Hollywood burning. This is a rebirth. This is rinsing our souls of all the devastation we have endured over the past 5 years, COVID, strikes, fires, etc. This is the moment we come together as an entertainment community. Through all this tragedy, let's focus on triumph. Everything is God. May we all hear him. He is screaming at us. Everything will be okay, even better than before. It's not the end. It's the beginning. Love and prayers to all those affected. I love all of the United States. To all my friends that have lost their homes, I am saddened yet happy that you still have your lives. These things are replaceable, but life is not. Big hugs and love. I find rainbows whenever I'm in storms. Some people just find gloom. He also says, thank you to all that sacrifice in moments like this. LA, we have we will rebuild bigger and better. I hope everyone's loved ones are accounted for and are safe. My prayers are for all of us affected, but to the strength of those that risk their lives to protect us. God is good. Let these moments of extreme devastation unite us. God bless us all in these tragedies. May we continue to strive for optimal triumph. So, just to kind of put that in perspective, I kind of like, to me, when he said that, I said, that is a pretty good way to look at that, I guess, because
Yes.
he says, I know the picture isn't real, but when I seen it, something spiritually hit me, and I'm thinking, man, that's pretty deep for something that he doesn't know if it's real or not to hit him spiritually like that
Hmm.
is whatever you believe in, that's something powerful struck him. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? To make him feel that certain way. And it's pretty amazing to I don't know how you feel about the Williams brothers. I thought they were hilarious. Always been hilarious.
Oh no, absolutely.
I've never heard anything negative about any of those
No.
guys
Mm-mm.
at all.
No.
Um,
They're
everybody that
terrific.
yeah, everybody that knows them knows their family people. So I mean, I say that, and then one of them's going to be named in a Diddy party. But
Oh
uh,
well, here's here's
uh,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I mean, since we're talking about this, it's funny you bring that up because if what Marlon says is true, and as long I agree with what Marlon's saying here, as long as Hollywood as a collective takes a look in the mirror and
yeah,
decides that all of the shit they've done in the past as a collective, I'm not singling
right,
anybody
right,
out
right.
because there's plenty of good people in Hollywood. There's plenty of good people. But Hollywood needs to get their shit together as a collective. And if that comes out of this, fine.
Yeah,
Because there's been a lot of bullshit and a lot of bad shit that has happened in Hollywood.
yeah,
There's been a lot of corruption,
yep,
scandal, I mean, abuse. eh, I mean, you name it, it's happened in Hollywood.
yeah,
So I don't wish ill on anybody, but because this is happening now and because Marlon wrote what he wrote, since we're talking about it, if something like that, like a reformation and a reset happens in Hollywood, fine,
yeah. I agree.
fine.
But this. I think the thing with Hollywood is, me being in acting, and I've seen this a lot, is people that get to that taste of that kind of life tend to take it too far. They go
That's what I
overboard. They
mean.
go
I mean, they
they go
think,
overboard with. They think they're not. They think they're untouchable and
yeah,
all this other shit. And to me, if I wound up being like a Hollywood star, I would be more of the lines of a Keanu Reeves or somebody like that doesn't that's pretty humble. I mean, he has nice things. Don't get me wrong,
sure.
but he also donates a lot of his money
Oh,
because
he absolutely does.
he knows like, hell, I'm not gonna I can't take this shit with me. I'd rather help somebody that needs it now and feel good about myself for helping somebody than to die having
Hmm.
$10 trillion and
Yeah.
who knows where the fuck it goes.
Yeah.
you know?
I've heard stories about Keanu literally giving like film crews bonuses out of his own
Yep.
salary and shit like that.
Yep.
You know, so I
He
mean,
bought uh, he bought some people in John Wick actually bought them cars or motorcycles or something, I think. And
mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean,
so this is a prime example too. Like a lot of people don't like The Rock, and that's fine. You don't like him, you like him, whichever way. Let me tell you something about The Rock as far as being a person. He buys somebody and his family member a gift every year. He's bought cousins' houses. He's bought uncles' cars. I mean, he's bought people in his family. He's done bought his mom like 3 different fucking houses, dude. Like he's
bought
taking care.
his he like bought his stunt double like a brand new truck.
Yeah, I mean, he's taking care of his people,
Yeah,
man. Like, I
and
mean, he's a good-hearted person, whether you
I
like him or
don't
not. You
right.
know, you know.
I think what as far as The Rock goes, I think people are just they're just having Dwayne Johnson overload as far as the amount of projects he's in.
That's true.
And
but,
that I understand, but we were actually talking about this at work last week before I got sick. The Rock seems to be a genuinely good dude. It's just he seems to be everywhere, and people just get exhausted of it. But he seems like a genuinely good dude.
But we were talking about this earlier too. My son was saying the same thing. He's just tired of seeing him and everything. I said, "This is the thing, dude. Like, if you take the most successful actors in Hollywood, like take John Travolta for instance. Well, John Travolta was fucking popular in the '70s and '80s. I mean, he was in a lot of stuff. But if you go into like the '90s, he was gone for like 8 or 10 years. Yeah. He didn't do anything. But he came back and was in a movie with Christian Slater called Broken Arrow, and I remember that was his first project coming back. Well, then he went into Face Off, and then he went into he did Be Cool. He did like all kind of other stuff. So I mean, so he was Get Shorty, all that
Shorty
stuff.
and Be Cool.
Yeah. So he was in all those projects, but he had that window where he didn't do anything. And I think as an actor, you have to have that break to clear your fucking mind, dude. Rock is wired different. Let me tell you why. Because he is always, from what he came up in. And if you haven't watched Young Rock, that show is almost dead on to what his life was like. I know people that know The Rock personally. Like I said, I got people on this phone from WWE. They've told me stories about The Rock. His dad was a person that lived. He lived in I guess he lived in a world that he wasn't really in. I guess that makes sense. He was a big time wrestler, yes, but he lived like he was making Hulk Hogan money, and he wasn't. so a lot of times they were broke, been evicted from houses and stuff. And, he actually would tell you stories about, hey, you can come stay with me, and he's living in a hotel room. He ain't even got a fucking house. His dad. So I mean, he came up in a place like that, knowing, hey, I gotta make something of myself. I gotta work hard and stay working. So he's always had that mentality of I have to work. So I mean, he still has that mentality. If you like,
definitely a grinder.
Take another guy that we know, for instance, Chris Jericho. He's a fucking wrestler. He's a fucking rock star. He does a podcast. The dude has to work. If he doesn't work, he thinks he's not doing what he needs to do to support his family, even though he's already a fucking millionaire.
Many times over.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, those people have that ingrained in them that they have to work. So that's why he's doing. That's how
they get there.
And that's why he's doing 7 or 8 fucking movies a year, because
that's how they get there.
He thinks he has to. Yeah. And then again, you got to look at it and say, okay, well, there's going to be a time, 10, 15 years from now, I'm not going to be able to do this.
Sure.
So
strike while the iron's hot, and I get it. But so I mean, I understand, but I understand both sides. I mean, he wants. I do. So yeah, I mean, if they're offering you roles and they're offering you the paychecks that come with these roles, I mean, sure, I wouldn't turn them down either. But at the same time, the people in general are like, another movie with The Rock in it. So I get it. I get it. Totally get it.
Yeah. I just lost a job because they say, hey, I want to offer you a role. I said, what kind of butter comes with it? They said, never mind, we'll get somebody else. Like, fuck. Anyway, you got one more story?
No, I read it.
Okay, cool.
I'm good to go. We may want to skip headlines just in case, unless you have anything like super pressing, because we are already 2 hours in and we have 3 more segments to do.
Oh, hell, it doesn't matter. Whatever.
It's up to you. So it's up to you. I don't care.
I don't care either. I mean, I ain't got nothing to do, so. Anyway, other headlines will be quick anyway. There's not much going on. So, Slayer's Kerry King says Dave Mustaine can't help but stick his foot in his mouth. The Slayer guitarist reveals he'll spend 20 minutes with Dave and then bolt just before everything gets uncomfortable. So, duly noted. 20 minutes with Dave and out. So,
if we got Dave Mustaine on our show for 20 minutes, I'd be happy.
So if we can get him at Rockin' Pod. That'd be 15 minutes. We'll be good to go. Metal Hammer releases exclusive Trivium and Bullet from a Valentine bundle featuring a T-shirt that you can't get anywhere else. So go over to Metal Hammer and order that if you would like.
What?
Yep. Bill Hader is a punk rock aficionado, and he will make his daughter love the Misfits whether she likes it or not. So I don't know if that's a good idea, but probably a turn her off from it more than anything.
Yeah, it would.
So I think this is an ongoing joke, but I'll put this in the headlines anyway. It says Glenn Close once drummed for System of a Down. Darren Malakian confirms. I think there was like a joke made at the awards show the other night.
It was at the Golden Globes, yeah.
Yeah, Golden Globes, yeah. So I'm not sure if that's actually true or if they're just like going along with the story, but I still find it fun. I still find it funny. Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor, and Atticus Ross added to their trophy cabinet with a Golden Globe win for Challengers. So congrats to those guys. Man, I tell you what, this motherfucker's been racking up some shit, not even being doing anything metal, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Vader is to release a Humanity EP, a new album to be recorded in the fall. So there you go. So they're going to do an EP and a new album. Lamb of God's Randy Blythe says his upcoming book tour will not be appropriate for children. This is your warning.
Duh.
So yeah. Cradle of Filth to release the Screaming of the Valkyries album in April. So there you go. Another announcement there. So Opus Michael Ackerfeld pays tribute to Paul Di'Anno, says his influence on metal music cannot be understated.
Agreed.
I would agree with that 100%. And I'm sure Bruce Dickinson would too. So
absolutely.
Stone Sour guitarist Josh Rand's The Life Projects to release 2 new EPs in 2025. So there you go. You got Reality Machine stuff going on this year. So I actually like this project because it reminds me a little bit of Stone Sour added and kind of combined with a little bit of Hellstorm. So it gives you, it's a hard rock feel at best, but it's still a good shit. And I like it. So
yeah,
hopefully they keep the momentum going from their last one. I like their last one. So this one we'll both be happy about. Exodus is working on music for the next album. Said this shit is off the fucking charts. So
hell yes,
shit we'd like to hear. So David Lee Ross, the Warner Recordings 85 to 94 box sets due out in February. Corrosion of Conformity hits the studio to record their first new album in 7 years. Pepper gonna be busy, man, with that and Down going on this year. So
hell yes.
So Skid Row's Rob Hammersmith says we are still on an active search for our new lead singer. So
I know one guy you could call, but you won't.
Oh, Sebastian Bach. Speed cancels dates on an Australian tour due to a missing friend. So hopefully they will find him. I was reading part of that. That's kind of crazy. Suicide Silence has a new record in the works, so there's more new music coming. Exodus guitarist Rick Hunault celebrates 15 years of sobriety. So congratulations!
Hey, that's awesome.
So that is awesome. So
congratulations.
And that is all the headlines I have, and now we'll turn it over to Chris to walk through some of the hitting of the road. I don't think there's a whole lot there. I didn't see a whole lot, but
I mean, I did end up with a couple of pages, but yeah, so not too bad. So for hitting the road this week, for the week of the 4th through the 10th, over at the PRP.com, we have Somm and Eastside going on a U.S. tour starting February 21st in Boston at the Middle East, finishing March 8th in Brooklyn at the Meadows. They will be in Nashville on March 1st at the end. The Browning, Swarm, and the Defect will be going around the United States. Starting April 2nd in Wichita, Kansas at Temple Live, finishing May 4th in Knoxville, Tennessee at the Open Chord. That is the only Tennessee date, by the way. Harakiri for the Sky, Swallow the Sun, Ghost Bath, and Snakes of Russia are going on a North American tour. Starting February 20th in Detroit at Sanctuary, finishing March 15th in Chicago at Reggie's. Agnostic Front, Murphy's Law, and Violent Way are going on a U.S. tour starting March 13th in Pittsburgh at the Craft House Stage and Grill. Finishing April 6th in Amityville, New York at the Amityville Music Hall. They will be in Memphis on March 31st. They'll be in Memphis at Growlers. That's the only Tennessee date. Then Agnostic Front is going on a European and UK tour featuring Bad Religion on select dates. Starting May 1st in Maastricht, Netherlands at Music Guitarage. I guarantee you I didn't say that right. Finishing May 17th in Barcelona, Spain at El Poblenou. Bad Religion will be at that show. Lacuna Coil has some Latin American dates scheduled starting March 12th in Buenos Aires, Argentina at El Teatro Flores, finishing March 30th in San Luis Potosi, Mexico at Cineteca Alameda. Then Lacuna Coil has some European dates announced, which are mostly festival dates. Starting June 6th in Polzin, Czechia at Metal Fest Open Air, finishing August 15th in Carhaix, France at Motoculture. Comeback Kid is going on a 20th anniversary North American tour for their Wake the Dead album. Cancer Bats, Koyo, Orthodox, Desmadre, and Defeater will be appearing on select dates on varying lineups starting February 24th in Minneapolis, Minnesota at Turf Club. Finishing Stone Cold Steve Austin Day in Seattle, Washington at El Corazon. They will be in Nashville on March 4th at Eastside Bowl with Koyo, Orthodox, and Desmadre. Torture, Balmora, Sanction, Final Resting Place, and Azshara are going on a U.S. tour starting April 1st in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at First Unitarian Church. Final Resting Place will not be at that show. Finishing on April 20th in Montclair, New Jersey at the Meat Locker. There are a couple of Tennessee dates, April 16th in Memphis at High Tone and April 17th in Knoxville at the Carnes Community Center. Young Widows has a North American tour scheduled with Thou, Null Vibes, Cherubs, and Porcelain appearing on select dates on varying lineups. Starting February 2nd in Louisville, Kentucky at Portal, finishing April 13th in St. Louis, Missouri at the Sinkhole. Paradise Lost, Gigan, and Trouble are going on a North American tour starting May 17th in Columbus, Ohio at the King of Clubs, finishing May 22nd in New York at Le Poisson Rouge. Prong is doing a 31st anniversary European tour for The Cleansing, starting July 30th in Hamburg, Germany at the Bahnhof Pauli, finishing August 16th in Tarstedt, Germany at the Angel Lighter Open Air. Cold September Morning and University Drive are going on a U.S. tour. The venues are still to be announced, but the tour dates have been announced. So the tour will start April 3rd in Cleveland, Ohio, and finish June 1st in Covington, Kentucky. They will be in Nashville on April 6th. When those venues are announced, I will go, I will let you guys know what those are. Killswitch Engage, Kubla Khan, Texas, Fit for a King, and Frozen Soul are going on a North American tour. Starting March 5th in Nashville, Tennessee at the new Pinnacle venue. Finishing April 12th in Portland, Maine at the Cross Insurance Arena. Then Killswitch Engage, Shadows Fall, Fit for a King, and Boundaries are going on a U.S. tour. I wish this version was coming here because I haven't seen Shadows Fall in 20 years.
Yeah.
Starting May 10th in Indianapolis, Indiana at the Egyptian Room at Old National Center, finishing May 18th in Virginia Beach, Virginia at the Dome. No disrespect to Kubla Khan, Texas, but I would like to see Shadows Fall again. So I kind of wish.
Kubla Khan is a got to see, dude. They're fire, dude.
Yeah, like I said, no disrespect, but no disrespect intended at all. Then we have Whores and Facet going on a North American tour starting February 8th in Atlanta, Georgia at the Earl. Facet won't be at that show, so it'll just be Whores. Whores in Atlanta. Who could, go figure. Finishing March 22nd in Chapel Hill at Local 506. Then Greyhaven, Better Lovers, and Frontierer are going to the UK starting January 17th. So that one's coming up this week. In Bristol, England at the Marble Factory, finishing January 24th in Birmingham, England at the O2 Institute 2. And lastly, Madball going on a UK tour of their own, starting January 31st in London, England at the Dome, finishing February 8th in Norwich, England at Waterfront. That is hitting the road for the 4th through the 10th.
I just seen an update on Twitter here. Since we were talking about those fires, Gavin Newsom posting he's calling for an investigation into the loss of water pressure to the local fire hydrants. So there was reported some unavailability of water supplies from the Santa Ynez Reservoir. So I don't know like what that consists of, but I just thought I would give you that update. So since we were just talking about it, but.
Nice.
So I'm just saying that's another fucking barrier they're having to deal with all this. So pretty wild. So all right, guys, I guess that will take us into our theme of the week. This week is me and you, your mama and your cousin too.
Hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your cousins.
That's right. So I got the me portion of this because I'm narcissistic like that. That's just the way it fell. Just trust me.
That's how it worked. That is how it worked.
Yeah, actually, I gave him an option because I didn't realize I had it wrote down you and I and me and you, and I said I'm just doing one or the other. I'm not doing both.
No,
So,
well, that doesn't make any sense to do both.
well, no. So I sent it over to him, and he's like, well, let's just do me and you. I said, okay, we'll do that. So that's what we're doing. So I got the me you side of this, the me side of me and you. So my first one was 9 Point, Bring Me Down from Vengeance 2007. Then I got Havoc, Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death from look at that double whammy. Unnatural Selection 2013. Lamb of God, Walk With Me in Hell from Sacrament 2006. Not for children.
Not for children.
Five Finger Death Punch, Lift Me Up, Wrong Side of Heaven, Righteous Side of Hell, Volume 1, 2013.
Featuring Rob Halford.
That's it, featuring Rob Halford, yes. Ice Nine Kills, Me, Myself, and Hyde from Every Trick in the Book, 2015. Violent New Breed, featuring Howard Jones, of course. Because the song's called Bury Me from Bad Reputation, 2019. Then I got Korn, You'll Never Find Me. I guess I kind of could have went either way. But the Nothing, 2019. I got Mudvayne, Scream With Me from Mudvayne, 2009. Devil Driver, You Make Me Sick. I guess that could have went both ways. Beast, 2011. In This Moment, Sick Like Me from Black Widow, 2014. Godsmack, Make Me Believe from Faceless, 2003. Trivium, I Don't Want to Be Me. That's actually a single from 2019, believe it or not. I did not realize it did not make an album. That's crazy.
Yeah. Nice.
I had New Year's Day, Defame Me from Malevolence 2015. Davey Suicide, Medicate Me, Rock Ain't Dead from 2020. If you haven't heard Davey Suicide, you should check him out. He's pretty interesting.
I haven't.
I think he kind of did everything on his own at first, but I think he may have a band now. But he was one of those internet sensation guys, I think. So then I had Primal Fear, Crucify Me, which I did not know this was a single as well from 2018. Never made it a record that came later that year. I was like, I actually looked at the record. I said, surely it came on that record. Nope, not on there. I'm like, wow, that's kind of crazy. Nice. Then I went with Shadows Fall, Haunting Me Endlessly from Fallout from the War 2006. Then I went with Killswitch Engage, I Can't Be the Only One from Atonement 2019. Of course, me, I won.
Yeah, that's why it didn't make sense to do either, because
right, because he kind of goes.
You could have, you could have done me and I, and
I mean, I did like 2 songs like that, but I tried to stick with the me thing. But
yeah, it's fine.
Then I went with Eyes of the Living Screen for Me from Fear Comes Knocking 2022.
Nice.
Then I went with Bleed From Within, It Lives in Me from Uprising 2013. Forearm, Bring Me Back, The Empires of Death 2010. I went with Avatar, Paint Me Red from Black Waltz 2012.
That is such a good song.
It is. Down, Bury Me in Smoke from Nala 1995. Gojira, Blow Me Away You, Niverse from Terra Incognita 2001. And then finally, I went with Light the Torch, Death of Me from You Will Be the Death of Me 2021.
Nice.
So that is my version. I think I tried to get to 25. I was close. I said, I forgot I'd try to get to 25. If I didn't, I will.
I got to 20. So it's going to be a pretty good playlist to start the year off.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be a good one. All right, so
start off with a banger. Banger after banger after banger.
Better than burger after burger after burger.
That's right. Yeah.
But Seamus.
Hey, he was the only one that picked Notre Dame to win the game the other night. So by God, he knows more than they do.
Good for him. All right, so for my contribution, I had the you portion leading off. Like I said, I got 20. So number 1 leading off, I had You Against You by Slayer off Repentless from 2015. Then I had You Will Know My Name by Arch Enemy off War Eternal from 2014. Then I had Choke on the Ashes of Your Hate by Machine Head off of Kingdom and Crown from 2022. Then I had Practice What You Preach by Testament off the album of the same name from 1989. Then I had Count Your Blessings by Exodus off Force of Habit from 1992. Then Everybody Loves You When You're Dead by Zentrix off 7 Words off from 2022. Then you had Ashes in Your Mouth from Megadeth, Symphony of Destruction, 1992. I Owe You Nothing by Angelus Apatrida off Hidden Evolution from 2015. I was going back and forth on which Angelus Apatrida song I was going to put on there because they were both good, and I actually may add the other one after this. I don't know. Then I went with Snap Your Fingers, Snap Your Neck by Prong off The Cleansing from 1994. Your Betrayal by Bullet for My Valentine off of Fever from 2010. The Heart from Your Hate by Trivium off The Sin and the Sentence from 2017. You've Got Another Thing Coming, Judas Priest Screaming for Vengeance, 1982. The Devil You Know by Anthrax off Worship Music from 2011. And a ridiculously underrated song, as far as I'm concerned, from Whitechapel, I Will Find You off of Kin from 2021. Jesus Christ, the way that song starts is insane.
I love that song.
Then a song that from Demon Hunter that I absolutely love, The Message, I Will Fail You by Demon Hunter off Extremist from 2014. Then
that is not a lie. That is not a lie.
Yeah. Then Death Can't Save You by Slackjaw, which was a single from last year. Sucks to Be You by Accept off Too Mean to Die from 2021. Scream Until You Wake by Avatar off Hunter Gatherer from 2020. Who Taught You How to Hate by Disturbed from Immortalized from 2015. And then I parentheses loopholed this one, Metal Health, Bang Your Head from Quiet Riot off of Metal Health, the first heavy metal album to hit #1 on the charts in history from 1983.
Yeah, nice. You didn't have no Bullet for My Valentine on there, man?
Yeah, Your Betrayal.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear it. Sorry.
Yep.
Cool. There's a few you could have went with a lot of bands that you actually.
Yeah, I could have.
I was looking at this when I was doing it. I said, man, this is going to be a hefty, because I was like, man, if he puts half the songs that I think he'll put in there for his side, shit, it's going to be starting out being a damn good fucking playlist. So.
Well, I mean, like I say, these are just this is just the base of what this playlist is going to be.
Well, yeah, because you're going to have it out there for 7 days for somebody else to add stuff. So
I'll probably let Kayla. I'll probably send it to Kayla, send it to Victor. So yeah.
Cool. So that is the playlist that we will share. Yeah, speaking of that, let me share that real quick because
absolutely forgot about that.
Yeah, let's do. I think I did we did all the stuff for the year last week, right? We did share everything, right?
As far as I sure as hell hope so, because I thought we did.
Yeah, because we had the guest playlist. Because we had the guest playlist, and we had the.
We did share that, I know for sure.
And then we had the year year in review playlist. So top 100 songs of 24, I think, was on there. So.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is the first new metal release playlist of 2025. So if you want to check that out, that is. While we do our album reviews, I'll leave that up. But yeah, it's got some pretty good stuff on there, man. Anyway, you got some. Like I said, you got the new Warbringer there, and you got some,
that album, man. If that album is, if that album is that single, obviously not note for note, of course, but
right.
If that album is that single from front to back, Jesus Christ.
Then you had a new Lacuna Coil, and you had a new Bleeding Through.
The new Lacuna Coil actually sounded like Lacuna Coil to me.
Right. Yeah. Then you had a couple of Confess had a new song out, which is pretty big for those guys. So yeah, like I said, for the most part, new stuff. Tremonti had a new album out. The Halo Effect had a new album out. So and then we're about to tell you about 2 more albums that just came out. So.
This year is just going to be insane.
So my album review this week was from a band called, and hopefully I'm pronouncing this right, Berider, from Liminal Spaces is the name of the album. It does say Berider is a term for guardian in Sindarin, the Elvish language from the J.R.R. Tolkien's Middle Earth. So that's where they got the name.
So it's fake.
Yeah, so it's fake. What the fuck? A fake fucking name. Gee, in the entertainment industry? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, who does that?
I know, right? So, Might as well watch WWE. Shit,
Wait, that's fake.
No, it's not.
Still real to me, damn it.
Yeah, you can't say that. Jericho will rip you a new asshole. So
I know.
I do hate that word. It's not fake. So
It's not fake. No, it's
founded by former members of melodic death metal band Chaos Edge, Stefano Nesparelli, and Alessandro Manini. So they are the founding members of the band. And actually, Alessandro's not even in the band anymore. So the only surviving, the only main member left is Stefano. Sorry. They are a progressive power metal band formed in 2015 and hailing from Bergamo, Lombardy, Italy. Another Italian metal band too, which is kind of crazy. So the reason I brought up the other part was, and I'll tell you in a minute. We'll go through this first. The current members are Stefano Nesperi, he's keyboardist and vocals. Daniel Cantabani on bass, Ciro Salvi on drums, Francesco Ideo on guitars, and Simone Baki Moten on guitars. Like I said, the only original member is Stefano. The bassist and drummer is next, and then the last two guys just joined in the last couple of years. So there you go. But I brought up the two, that they were former members of a melodic death metal band, and that they're considered a progressive power metal band because they do incorporate both of those in this album. I don't care what I don't care what they have them labeled at. There's definitely some death metal influence in the album. So this is the band's third full-length release, and they also have 3 EPs in their catalog. So if you want to check any of that out, go there and check that out. This one has 10 songs and it's 44 minutes, 59 seconds in length. I think they do a good job of incorporating the gutturals mixed in with the cleans, real powerful cleans too, by the way. So they do a real good job mixing that. Vocally, it didn't flow with the instrumental composition sometimes, though. I think that kind of threw me off a little at points. I'm just like, don't really seem to follow. But, whatever. They slowed it down too much too for Stefano's powerful vocal ability because I don't think this band is set up to do ballads. I mean, they're just.
Oh,
not.
Really? Okay.
No, his vocals are way too powerful for that, man. It's almost like he's whispering and fucking belting. It's like yeah, dude, you cannot do you can't do ballads. Like I said, I think they just slowed the music compositions down too much for him because I think they were trying to do something like that, but his vocals just aren't built for that. I mean, he doesn't have I don't think he has a low end of that, and I'm not sure if he's doing both the gutturals and the cleans too, though. That's the thing too. It doesn't really say there's another vocalist, but I mean, if he is, then that's great because I mean that's a pretty good job if he's doing them back and forth like that. But as I said, the drumming stood out on a few tracks, especially when the pace quickened. Of course, they really picked up the momentum of the album when they were in that mode. No memorable guitar solos or anything like that. So it's not really, it's almost kind of like we're just playing, So,
No, okay, no,
so
I get that.
It really wasn't. None of that really stood out to me. Like I said, it wasn't horrible. Just the timing being off a little here and there kind of threw me off a little bit. But I'm gonna give it 3 horns. I mean, you can probably listen to it. You're more of the melodic metal guy than I am, so progressive power metal. So you may be a little bit more.
I don't know. I get a little gun shy when I see progressive. Sometimes I don't completely write it off, but man, progressive. When I see progressive anything, it gives me a little bit of a moment of pause because a lot of times progressive can get out of hand. For me, progressive can get out of hand in a hurry, and you can really drown out the metal with the progressive. So
that's the thing, though, is I think they incorporate enough of that death metal that they're used to balance it.
Okay.
And like I said, it's really fast. When they do hit those fast-paced songs, they're great. but there's a couple of songs in there where they tried to slow it down. And it just didn't work for
Just
me.
didn't work.
You know?
Okay.
And like I said, it may just be me. I mean, you may be able to see something in there that I didn't. I would be interested to get your feedback on
All
it.
right, I'll take it.
If you get a chance.
I'll take a listen to it. Sure.
Like I said, I know that's more stuff that you're familiar with than me, but
yeah, I'll take a listen.
There wasn't a lot of options this week. So.
Not really. I
So-
was actually kind of surprised. There were a lot of re-releases and
I was actually more interested in the one that you picked too, and I was gonna say, yeah, that's kind of the one I would have leaned toward too. But that's fine. I'll probably wind up still listening to it just to listen to it. But
well, then what we'll do is we'll each listen to listen to each other's reviews
and then give feedback when we listen.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of which, my album review, the first album review of 2025, I listened to Garden of Stone and their new album, The Grave Mistake. Garden of Stone is a melodic death / heavy metal band formed in Tampere, Finland in 2023. They are currently on Inverse Records. They are a 5-piece consisting of Kalle Hanninen on bass, Tapio Havarainen on drums, Jiri Mentasalo on guitar, Vili Pinkari on guitar, and Jesse Salo on vocals. All original members. No lineup changes to report, which is good considering the band's 2 years old.
Yeah.
This is their debut LP. They did have an EP that came out last year, Tides of Decay. This new album is 12 tracks. Actually, I'll take that back. It's 9 tracks and 3 interludes long. At 50 minutes and 58 seconds. Track number 1, track number 6, and track number 10. Basically spoken word, not a whole lot of music behind them. So 9 full-fledged tracks. This is a pretty complex album. It is very melodic. It is very heavy. The vocals are all over the place. I don't mean in that a bad way. There are cleans. There are screams. There are metalcore screams. There are death metal screams. There are death metal gutturals. There are even a couple of sporadic, extended, damn near deathcore kind of those borderline animal sounds. If Jesse is doing all of these, because he is the only vocalist credited, then he blows Will Ramos out of the water. Because if he's doing all of these on his own, I will say that I doubt it, because there are too much of this shit going on at the same time. They've got to be either layering it in, or somebody is not being credited with helping with the vocals. There is all sorts of, the tempos run the gamut from low to high to mid. So there's guitar solos, there's high notes, there's bass drum, bass guitar. There's the guitar solo. There was a lot of attention paid to the guitar solos. Everything was the composition was very well done. They slowed it down, but in those songs they would start slow, they would ramp it up. They had some no full-fledged ballads at all, but they had moments where they slowed it way down. Tempos were super duper down. Clean, I guess, soft vocals, but but nothing ballady. There are no love songs to speak of course. This is a really, really good roadmap for this band, because this album gives them the ability to literally go in any direction they want to go moving forward. If they want to do an album going forward that's predominantly clean, they can do that because they did that here. If they want to do just death metal, they can do that because they did that here. If they want to do something predominantly melodic, they can because they did that here. If they want to do something that's traditional heavy metal, they can do that because they did that here when they were paying attention. When they were a lot of the leads to these songs, like a lot of the lead-ins to the first not choruses, a lot of the guitar leads into the first verse to a lot of these songs had a lot of traditional heavy metal feel to it. So there is a lot of attention paid to detail on a lot of these songs. I was actually surprised at how well written and how well put together the songs were. I mean, you're talking about there is nothing that goes in a straight line on this album. If there's a song that has clean vocals, they'll go clean, then they'll go guttural, they'll go, they'll have screams that are metalcore resemblant. So, and metalcore is not even really listed as one of their styles, but vocally Jesse can sing. He can scream. He can put those metalcore screams out there. So, like I say, if he's doing all of this shit, he's got one hell of a range. So basically, as far as like anything traditional, it's on here.
I wonder if they have a video where you can actually see them performing anything or something.
I'm not sure. I haven't
looked.
I need to do that, but I was actually quite impressed, and they can, like I say, they can basically do whatever they want with their career now, because they've established with this album, they can do clean, they can do guttural, they can do metalcore, they can do fast, they can do slow, they can do mid, they can do traditional. Because I mean, they could just do a traditional album with power chords and I mean the guitar solos had traditional thrash roots in them too. So this is a fantastic jumping off point for this band. This is getting 4 horns easy.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Starting out the year right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Very impressed. Great start for those guys.
All right. Well, then let's look ahead and see what we got going on next week.
Yeah. Looking ahead to next Friday, January 17th. Lists are already starting to get a little bit longer, which is good for us.
Oh yeah.
Starting off with Eon of Awareness with the Embracing Light of Raurohenga. We have Avum with Kaleidoscope, Amen with Argento, Anti-Mosdebeast with The Alien Machine, Behexen with Beyond the Four Gates, The Big Deal with Electrified, Blood Lemon with Petite Deaths, that's an EP, Captain Kill with Off to the Circus, Cerebral Hemorrhage with Exempting Reality, Craft with Uncommon Grounds, Crimson Storm with Living on the Bad Side, Dark Fortress with Pulling at Threads live in Europe 2023, Datura with Visions for the Celestial, that's a re-release, Die by Day with Dust and Ashes, that's an EP, Deus Sabbath with Cycle of Death, Dragon Knight with Legions, Dunes with Land of the Blind, Idola with Mend, Godzillionaire with Diminishing Returns, Gravedigger with Bone Collector, nice, Gravedigger. We have Gre with Dysphoric Devotion, Haxkapel with Am Jordan's Blad och Grep, Hazard with The Third Dimension, Hesperia with Fra Limonti Sibillini, Hierarchies with a self-titled album, Howling Giant with a self-titled EP re-release, Landfall with Wide Open Sky, Medusian with Library, that's an EP, Necrodeath with Aramortis, Necromaniac with Sciomancy, Malediction, and Rites Abominable, Necrotech with Necrotechnology, that's an EP, Nesdom with Find the Truth, Orneirophagus with Revelations from the Void, Pestilent Scars with Meadows of Misfortune, Putrid Defecation with Tales from the Toilet. Oh, God. I can only imagine that fucking album cover. Pestilent Scars with Meadows of Misfortune. Oh, sorry, I went back too far. Reek of Death with Morse in Tabula. Sarcator with Swarming Angels and Flies. Shotgun Facelift with Red River Flood. Shutdown with By Your Side, that's an EP. Steve Hackett with Live Magic at Trading Boundaries. Thus Live Humans with Art Deco 1. Thy Kingdom Will Burn with The Loss and Redemption. Tokyo Blade with Time is the Fire. Tumingong with Back on the Streets. Vertex with The Purest Light. Vitriolic with Black Steel Vengeance. Wasp with The Seven Savage, 1984 to 1992 box set. and will them to friend with old ghosts and new garments.
Okay, so they get a little longer. So
Yeah, getting a little longer.
that's what she said.
That's right. We're a grower, not a shower. So
That's right. Just. All right. Well, that will wrap this one up. Sorry, we kind of gotten carried away a little bit and carried it into a 2.5, almost 2 hours and 45 minutes here. So, but
yeah, we managed to reel it in just a little.
It happens. It happens. So,
It does.
so luckily we've both been off work all week, so we're not like super tired. And Chris isn't cussing me right now, going, "Hurry the fuck up!"
No, no, it's fine.
Oh man, but anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the show. Like I said, if you want to look back on anything we did in 2024, or even further than that, anything we've done since we started this thing,
That's right.
let's look at all that on Spotify and YouTube. Catch us on our socials, which is Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitch, the Rumble, aforementioned Spotify, YouTube, TikTok,
Instagram.
and Instagram. Yeah.
Yep.
So there you go. So, and also, if you want to catch our radio station that is streaming 24/7, yeah, right now. Yeah. So actually, I got to add last year's top 100 to that. So, yeah, that's going to take some time. I'll probably be doing that tomorrow. Actually, I got to come in here and do some cut up for the last of the year's show too to put on Spotify. So, but you can check out the 24/7 radio station streaming right now at www.stream.trulyradio247.com/8008/dream.
And Metalheads Unite USA at gmail.com is our email address. One more thing that we got to tell you guys before we go, we actually have our very first guest, a returning guest, next Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. So not Friday at 10 p.m. to be Saturday at 10 a.m. Check local listings. We are having our good friend Lassie Landstrom from Never Fade back on the program. He is going to be promoting his new album, which we have and get to listen to before it comes out.
That's right.
That's awesome.
And I will be doing that. So.
And we will be doing that. So that's cool. He let us do that. That is so awesome. So we'll be checking that out. So we will be discussing that and some other stuff that Never Fade has got going on. So we're looking forward to having Lassie back on the program. So yep, special day and time next week. So,
I'm trying to see when he was here. He was here early last year.
Looking forward to that.
Oh, was it even? Oh yeah, he was here like April of last year. So it's been a good 9 months. 9 months, yeah.
9 months.
A lot can happen in 9 months with a band, that's for sure. So,
Yep.
So be looking forward to chatting with him again and finding out what they've been up to. So
it'll be good to see him.
And seeing what they have planned for 2025. So
yeah,
and then we'll keep you guys posted on what we have planned for 2025.
That's right.
So a lot of stuff still in the works for us. So hopefully, I get over this hump, then I can actually do some work. So, I was like, I love being at home all week, but I hadn't felt like doing anything. Like,
I was just ugh.
I was like, if I'd have felt like doing something, I'd have got a lot of shit done this week. Hell, I probably would have built a whole website this week if I felt like it.
Yeah. Man, dude, I'm telling you, Wednesday because dude, I was in this office for 3.5 days because I quarantined myself in here. I was I am not getting any, but like. Because Monday night when it hit, I brought a mattress in here. I was like, I'm staying in here until I'm not contagious anymore. I didn't leave, obviously, to go to the bathroom and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I took a shower, stuff. But that was when Angela and when no one was here. I went to the bathroom. I took my shower. But I didn't come out of this bedroom until like this morning. And if any of you guys watched the Metalhead Minute this week, Wednesday I was struggling.
Yeah,
I was struggling. I was like, "Oh man, I sound terrible." But
I was actually surprised you put it up on Wednesday. I said, "Man, I figured he wouldn't have done that." But
no, man,
that's how dedicated we are. Man. Just remember that.
Well, like thankfully, because like as soon as I got done, I mean, the bed is like right there, right behind the desk.
That's true. Yeah.
I just like okay, good. It didn't. It took me I think 3 or 4 takes to get it done because I got tongue tied a little bit. But as soon as I got it done and I got it saved and posted, I went back into that bed and I posted it on all the social media. I was like laying there going, oh my God, it was just like I just felt bad. Ugh, felt so bad. But we made it. We made it through. Here we are. So.
Yeah. All right, guys. Like I said, appreciate you guys joining us, and hopefully you kind of enjoyed our first show back. Like I said, next week we'll be in interview mode again. So,
which is always fun for us.
Oh yeah. So join us on Saturday, and if you follow us on our socials, we'll be posting everything up on there to kind of remind you guys. So probably start that on Monday. So kind of keep an eye out on that. So until then, I guess keep those horns held high. Jump in that pit anytime you can.
Have a great week, guys. Thank you.